Yay!
There it is.
John,
Hello.
back up.
So,
No.
it's been a while.
Yes,
It's been
bitch.
a very long while.
Long while.
It's been time.
Yep.
Who
Long.
would like to recap last time?
I want to try to zoom through this as fast as possible, unless somebody else actually remembers anything.
Oh, please let Ariel do it, please.
Yeah.
Because I remembered almost none of this until I just reread it. So, last time we started with a bit of a time skip backwards because Esther wanted to speak with the Lord of the Mind in the dreams the night before the whole thing happened. Got some confirmation of things. Ophiuchus was originally just the title of power for the Gith over planes. The name died with the guy who was just called Gith. Lord of the Mind, as his first miracle as God, brought them back to life, and they were supposed to be a bridge between the divided Gith peoples. Unfortunately, they've decided the best way to do this is to go, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to conquer the entire, material plane or something, and so we gotta destroy it or whatever. I don't know, I made this plan when anyhow, they've got some idea of what they're after. I've got no clue what they're doing.
Cool.
Aside from, it's bad for us. So they wanted the Zodiacs to start a war they could then control and get space to colonize the material and or elemental, maybe both, and all of it. The Abyss is apparently a little bit difficult to live in.
Surprising.
They're not going to be at the peace talks, which is good. Ares can cast wish spells because he's a genie. Thing is, something's stopping him from using the last wish he has left, and Ophiuchus has to use one to benefit Ares somehow, his goals, and so Ophiuchus doesn't want to use that, but the two of them want to become gods or something. We're told vaguely that if we threaten their access to divinity, they'll be goaded into fighting. Great. We were told to look for Mike the Fallen. He's going to be at the Font of Knowledge or something soon. Anyhow, cut back to...
If you guys have questions, I can clarify them.
I'm grumpy.
Yeah,
I can tell.
I love the thin. Yeah, my favorite
I'm
part
just
of
like,
that
what the
recap.
fuck did I do? Damn.
This is my favorite recap because of the thinly veiled sarcasm and thinly veiled anger.
At a certain point,
oh, yeah,
things start to feel a little bit hopeless, and so I react.
Wow, amazing.
Okay, back to current events. Leo screaming. Liber is telling Ares he's got no claim on Leo legally, and Ares doesn't want to listen, and there's a bit of a standoff. Esther asks Mist to protect Leo. She basically superseded his patron to give him some time, and Liber sent Leo away for safety from Ares, at which point it all broke apart, and Rosalind had to gem the portal because I think it was starting to react badly. Anyhow, it had to go, so it's now a gem.
Right.
As it's shut, basically Ares, as we find out later, started a civil war with him on one side and just about everybody else on the other. I think there might have been one who sided with him. Virgo. Virgo sided with him. Anyhow, we contacted Mike very briefly. He's on the Astral holding back 13, but the oaths are remaining, but things are changing, and his power over 13 is weakening. Most Archdruids show up that day with Orzer. A little bit later on, Leo contacted Ashta because he's like, okay, stuff happened, civil war happened, uprising on Plane of Fire, etc., etc. Ares tried to assassinate Libra and failed, however, Libra is basically MIA or something. The entire planet of air has been invaded or something like that.
It's fucked, basically.
Yeah. Apparently, the way that the whole thing with Aquarius was finagled was Ares would, at various meetings with the Zodiacs, would bring up a new law, or a law to vote on, or change, or something at the Zodiac meetings. And also finagled things so that, occasionally this person had to be absent, so they had to come up with a rule for voting in absence of somebody, voting with proxies, with representatives, and just slid these things in, and then apparently repealed a law that prioritized laws of the ancient Zodiacs or something. Anyhow, apparently this was used as an excuse to execute Aquarius, even though Aquarius had already technically been executed under that same law previously, and it was agreed that having suffered a punishment once, she can't suffer it again. No word on how that worked. Ares has Virgo on his side. Virgo's an Earth genie. Gemini is basically an ancient giant and dragon pair. Sounds familiar. Wonder who. Dunno. Air is currently lost, I said that. Ares plans on trying to crash the peace talks as a distraction in a greater plot to kill the monarch. Something wants the monarch dead because they can stop time. Plans were found, but in code they were decoded. Okay, anyway, Leo kind of breaks down the zodiacs that are going to be there. Capricorn and Taurus, he has reservations on. He's not certain of them. He's also not really comfy with Pisces. She renounced Aries right away, but previous roles are unknown. I believe we were told she was pretty close with Aries previously.
She was originally second in command.
Yeah.
And she needs to be interrogated, like, huge.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to do
Can we
that in
get
Peace
get
Talk.
Pisces in that kind of position.
I mean,
Anyhow, a being from the astral could enter the monarch's time freeze uncontrolled, which is fun. Also, Firebird souls don't stick around, so if she died, his successor would immediately take over, but the thing is, the Ix could corrupt the monarch's fane and destroy monarchs and Firebirds and make a Darkling instead, which is like an inverse dragon that's very powerful. Don't allow this. Also, if corrupted, destroy the island. Thanks.
Great.
hey, Conrad,
Yes.
what did you mean by beings from the astral can come in without influence?
It's a great question.
Conrad?
Great.
Conrad, you tell us we can ask questions, then you say that's a great question.
Conrad?
Yeah.
Great.
In terms of clarifying plot events, yes, you can of course ask questions.
This is more so for me trying to understand why Esther didn't have a form.
We'll roll an Arcana check when we actually start.
Okay, that's fair.
Apparently we're still not allowed to know Aquarius's name. I'm beginning to think Conrad just didn't make one. Portals are unique to Leo. Maybe you could teach Rosalind some, depending on patrons and stuff. Dunno. Junior can summon lots of celestial group familiars as messengers that are Aquarius' soldiers. Something that Aquarius' soldiers can do. So basically, he sends a message to them going, "Hey, group up. We're evacuating." So we're doing that. Message decoded from the plans, Ares' plans. It's pretty much his previous plans and going forward. The volcanic core was supposed to set off the entire fight, but he had to do this slow trickle legal fight to get power. Ran out of time for the full thing. So this is basically Plan C, that he wanted to make the druids think the Zodiacs betrayed them, keep us busy with the monarch, etc., and the Scroll of Wish is used as a threat against Ares to keep him in line. Convoluted. Most of Aquarius' soldiers were already in position with allied Zodiacs, but a few are coming through the portal we set up with Leo, and also Aquarius' Ice Bear is there. Fortunately, some of us can talk to animals, and we explained what was going on, and that's where we left off last time. Do we have any music going in the Roll20 game? I have not heard anything this entire time.
Let's see, because as usual I cannot hear the music.
Nothing is playing.
Alright, I will play something. So let's get that Arcana check real fast from
Sounds good.
Esther.
Because I'm curious about that.
Wait, this is the jazzy music. Wrong one. There we go. 25. Okay. Take a quick guidance real fast. Because I assume someone will be nearby to get guidance.
Yeah,
I just
sure.
want to see what the level of information you guys would get what it is. Is music playing now, by the way?
I do not hear anything.
I
No?
don't hear
Alright.
anything.
Alright, so with 28. So, if you consult with the Firebird, with Monarch, specifically with Ashta in tow, which I assume, given the day's events, you guys would want to at some point, you can basically figure out that the way her time stop works is it effectively switches which flow of time you're in from the material plane flow of time to the astral plane flow of time. It essentially reattunes you. That's why you guys have astral forms, because when attuned to that plane, the plane energy flows through you. So, in that sense, it's reasonable to assume that a being who is used to that flow of time and is generally surrounded in that flow of time might attune to it without intent from the Firebirds. Might instead do it automatically.
Okay. That makes more sense, actually.
So would Ash be able to attune to the astral plane with his wings?
go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
Mm.
With advantage, because it's planar.
Can I smack him with the guidance?
Go for it.
Okay.
DC is 17 for this.
Garbage.
Oof.
Oh no.
I will ask, would you like to feign for advantage that?
Yeah, why? Might as well.
Alright.
Haha.
I had a
Oh,
terrible
yeah.
feeling.
Alright, so as you try to attune to it, you don't have an attuned object like a tuning fork. Oh fuck, a tuning fork. I get the pun now. Sorry. And you reach out for it and don't find the connection you're looking for. It's there. It's possible to do. It's actually it seems closer than the elemental planes used to be for you before you had these little connections. But it's still not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
It may be easier with a attuned magic item.
Okay, just put his hand on the monarch.
Yeah. Go ahead. You automatically attune to the plane if you try at that point.
Okay.
So when attuned to the astral plane, let me find my notes.
Same point for nothing.
You guys are gonna get a long rest in a second, anyways. So when attuned to the astral plane, you don't get the full effects of it. But for the amount of time you are attuned to the astral plane, you have that hasted action and just the hasted action. None of the other effects of the haste spell. But you always have that hasted action while attuned to it.
Is that off plane or on plane?
That is off plane.
Okay. Okay.
Alright. Is the music playing now, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, I wish I could hear my music. It makes things much easier. Alright, so. As we left it off, you guys were getting closer to a long rest. Is there any last minute things you guys would like to do before the day of the peace talks?
Can I, at night, try to contact the Lord of the Mind one more time?
Go for it. Go ahead and roll a D100.
Okay, because there's something I thought of, and that's why.
17. Alright. You can contact Lord of the Mind.
Just gonna kind of appear, just... I know we just talked, but I have a question.
Please, go ahead.
You can... How long has it been since 13 contacted you?
Most recently or the first time?
Most recently?
On your time scale, a few years? I think. It's difficult
okay.
conversion sometimes, but I
Can-
believe a few years is correct.
Can you reach out to them, or do they have to reach out to you?
I can reach out, but I cannot force them to answer.
I'm here talking to you. I'm assuming they can do something similar.
If
Is
they
there-
desired,
Is there a way to establish a meeting point?
theoretically, though I fear for your safety if I do.
Why is that?
Well, this is a mental demiplane, if you would. Not quite a full demiplane, but of a sort it is. They are beings of great mental acuity. Acuity. And I don't believe it would be much a surprise to tell you that they are each individually have either Ix or Fane to them. Either of which could be dangerous to you if they are connected on a mental level. I can try it if you'd like, but they're powerful and dangerous.
After the peace talks occur, would you be able to attempt this?
I could. It would be equally, if not more dangerous, but I could.
I understand the risks. Thank you. That was all I truly needed to know right now.
Of course.
And she'll kind of fade out.
Alright. Anyone else?
Damn.
Alright, so Peach, you want to make your rolls for the sleep training? You may.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Sleep training would be intelligence. 25.
Alright, so those of you with your who beat your DC, go ahead and mark off the 8 hours. And everyone else, you wake up on the morning of the peace talks. Ashta, as the sun rises and you rise with it, presumably. You and first, and then everyone else will get a ping from Issa saying that, hey, the last archdruids.
All right.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the next hour, the Zodiacs should arrive. So, when you ask, we can assemble.
Out of curiosity, do we have to go pick up the Genasi and the wizard representatives?
No, that was already done. That was part of the
Okay.
assumed tasks that Rosalind was taking care of.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Also, the representatives for the rebellion, because they got to be part of this too. So.
That's what I meant by the wizards.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me just drag up that sheet so I can make sure I've got everyone here.
Also, Rosalind, you receive a hurried feign of, can I ask your assistance, please?
You get an affirmative, and Rosalind will come over to presumably Esther's room.
Yeah.
All right, knock knock. And then
And that's all kind of open. Just, I need your help.
what is it you need?
You didn't tell us the formality of how we were supposed to dress. This is like a political thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to present myself as.
Well, you're not really representing. Here, let's just go through what you have and figure this out. And she'll go in
Okay.
and help Esther pick out attire for the day. I guess
like-
as a general thing, Esther would not be, I expect. I don't think Hester would be expected to wear like full Genasi regalia or anything, because she's not technically representing the Genasi. They have their own representatives. But if she wanted to incorporate it, it's like we're more the arbitrators for such as this would be, and also representatives of what is going to become Averos, what is Averos, and what it will be. Which means that we don't necessarily have a set cultural identity. We don't have a national costume or dress code, as it were.
Okay.
Which means probably a little bit more of a mishmash, and if you want to tie in some element or other, then Esther could do so.
Okay. Good to know. I didn't know if you wanted us to like be like really formal or like kind of idea, and she has no idea.
Rosalind would opt for try to look presentable, try to look nice, well put together, well kept. If you have this handled, I need to go and see Ashta and make sure that he's doing all right. I know it's going to be armor, but at the very least it should be, the scuffs should be out.
Yes, I do have one question though. Are you okay? And please be honest with me.
I've been better. I just want this to be over at this point.
I know. I still can't fully believe she's gone. You know?
If I hadn't been so stupid.
You weren't stupid. We all agreed to let her go.
Yes, well, I believed the wrong person.
I promised her that I would keep her safe.
We all did.
But when I promised her, there was a certain element to it that it would entail, if that made sense.
I suppose so. You did. You did get closer to her than most of us. Emotionally, as a person, spending time.
I loved her.
Hmm.
I continue to love her, and I will until the day I die. Whether it is as something romantic or simply because it was two souls that happened to find each other in a time of need, that I cannot say, but please know that you don't wear that weight alone.
I know.
Do you?
Rosalind just kind of smiles. I may lean on you, if that's all right, from time to time.
Always.
But, not out there and in front of all of them if I can at all help it. Or at least not too openly.
Then we will keep our conversations to private quarters. And out there, we're the defenders of this continent.
And she'll just feign over. There is an advantage to these.
And she'll feign back. That's true. Now, go take care of your boyfriend.
Hmm.
Or should I say, fiance?
That hasn't really been formalized. I'm giving it a little bit of time.
Understandable.
Just a bit. Right before all of this is a little bit... Well,
Much.
it's not exactly what I was imagining.
I find these sorts of things never turn out the way we want them to. Or plan, I suppose.
Regardless, I should let you be ready. Get ready. See you in a little
Feign me.
bit.
I'll see you in a bit. Feign me if you need anything. And
I
she'll
will.
kind of go back to picking through stuff and trying to get Jade out of pajamas.
Mhm.
All right. So, in the morning, I assume Xenia is making breakfast, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What breakfast do you make for such a day?
Comfort foods and just keeping the kitchen door closed. It's just going to be more of a private affair going on.
All right. So, go ahead and give me a cooking check.
45.
My God.
Jesus
Holy
fucking Christ.
fuck!
Oh my God!
Oh wow.
Jesus, you seduced the
Holy
entire castle with
No.
your eggs.
Crap.
Like,
Senior wants a private affair with us.
Yes.
Senior's just. It's been time.
Oh my
It's stressful. We need time to calm down.
All right. Just out of curiosity, go ahead and give me just a d20. I want to see what the luck roll is on that. Fucking hell.
jeez.
Wow.
Okay.
Did Conrad cut out for anybody else?
Yep.
Yeah.
His Wi-Fi probably.
Eight.
Yep.
18 to your max HP for this day.
Yeah.
Was there anything else to that you cut out there? 18 to max HP was what we heard.
Sorry, for this day.
For Xenia or for everybody?
For everyone.
For everyone?
Nice.
It's private affair. Okay.
And also with that, Senior's just going to stretch and just go, do you guys think we're expecting any conflict?
Pardon?
Do you guys think we're expecting any conflict?
Yes.
It'd be stupid.
Yes?
Yes.
Xenia hands out honey cakes to each of you.
All right, go
what
ahead,
are
minus
these?
the effect.
Here it is if you want to eat them during now, or if you want to eat them and you get a potion effect.
Ooh. I think I will save mine.
I'll go ahead and eat mine.
Yeah,
I
I shall
I'll
have
eat mine
his.
now.
also going to eat mine.
Just
Okay,
in case.
should we do Monster Hunter individual D100s or Monster Hunter 1?
I'd say just do one.
Yeah, party judgment, whatever you guys prefer.
Yeah, we can do
What?
one.
Okay,
Okay.
so whoever's eating it now
Yeah.
has 20 round up, Conrad?
Round up, yes.
Oh, wait. I just thought of
10
no.
something. Oh, yeah,
This
no,
one's not
they,
high. It's over the
max
10 minutes, so yeah,
It's
yeah,
temp.
it's yep, not temp. And remember, because it is not the one action version, you get the full 53, not just half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know
so
what?
if
In that case, I will also eat mine
if
now.
you scarf it down, then it's
Continue.
half. If you eat the whole thing,
It
Jake,
is.
you can-
I am getting mixed around. So that is plus 53 to everyone.
What is 18 plus 53?
Lots.
71.
Yeah, 61.
71.
Sorry,
Thank
71.
you.
Fuck me. Oh my god.
Everyone.
Everyone write down your original max HP.
I just did in the temp HP bar, top right.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down elsewhere on my sheet because that's where I'm putting the bonus for having the amulet on.
I'm also writing it down in my little thing.
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure
Yeah.
somewhere you have your max HP, just in case.
Yep.
How many days were the peace talks planning to go for?
One day.
Oh,
Yeah.
This was planned to be, at the very least, primary to further peace, if not the entire peace talk.
I didn't realize it was happening over the course of a day. Fuck. Alright. Yeah, then, yeah, we need all the shit we can get.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, let
certainly
me-
kind of what we've been planning.
Let me double check if there's anything else I can go with. I forgot about my diamonds.
In that case, I'm gonna make sure that Jade is with Remy and Tasha
Okay.
today, because
Can I-
Jade needs to be as far away from any of that kind of fuckery, because that kid reads shit and she'll like point at somebody and just go like well, I'll be in trouble.
Make a joke. I know Remy's capability. You're giving your baby to the blind chick.
I mean more so just to be with them. Like I'm assuming Mahmood is gonna be with them.
Yeah. Oh, Remy's much more combat attuned than Mahmood, please.
That's what I mean. Like just keep her with the children.
God.
Yes, I'm passing off a baby to a blind chick pretty much.
Remy can fight. Mahmood can make sure Jade isn't levitating anything where Remy can't see.
Yes.
Yes.
That is precisely the roles that they need to have.
Jade battle axe down.
Jade,
Oh.
battle axe down. Jade, that's explosive. You don't want it. No. Mm-mm.
So
Jade,
just
that's espresso. That's espresso. Don't you dare.
no. I'm taking the baby.
All right. So,
Just
Um,
Jade like levitates a cup. There's Red Bull in this cup. And starts it down.
She bursts into flames.
so
Oh, good
Uh,
lord.
about half an hour after you guys finish your meal, you all get a ping from Issa saying, the crew of the Zodiacs is asking for permission to board. It seems to be the ones that Leo mentioned, all of the correct ones. I've done the standard anti-illusion spells and everything. Do you want to allow them, or you still want to wait?
I mean, we need to employ some more safety measures on top of that.
I think we're allowing them on.
Yes. We're allowing them on.
Yep.
Wait, is Libra with them?
No, he's not. As mentioned, Leo is, sorry, Libra is not here.
Just double checking.
Yes. It's okay. I appreciate the double checking. I am very nervous.
That's okay. We all
Well,
are.
Do you all, me and my men, do you want us looking inward to the castle or watching outwards for intrusion?
Both. But I know that's not possible.
We'll set the firebirds wherever we're not, but there's only so many of them and so many of us.
Look to the courtyard and look to the monarch first.
Yes.
Right.
Garrison, whatever you can around the monarch.
Alright. I'll have the firebirds watching outwards. They can all feign and teleport if they need to.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, shall I get everyone assembled and begin serving the food?
Please do.
I suppose.
Alright. And so I'm going to ask you, so just to confirm, the meeting is going to be in the courtyard, yes?
It is.
Yeah.
Alright.
We should have the long tables set and the small canopy in case of weather.
Yes.
Alright. In that case, As with that too, a few minutes after the Zodiacs arrive, the last Archdruids and representatives from both the Genasi and the Wizards show up.
Uh,
Let's just make sure I've got the right ones here. From the Rebellion. They would have the right outfit to make this clear to you. You guys actually see one of the Glimmers appear. Tall, tall elven man of the name of normally known as Tess, Tes. Rosalind, you would know him as Rosalind, and the Northerners would know him as Himun Tess, Himuntes. He is the Glimmer of Blade Magic.
Okay.
And he's
Uh,
with
And
the rebellion?
he's also the leader of the rebellion.
Okay.
Okay.
in that case, Rosalind, I have to go speak to somebody just before the talks. I can change the weather into something fitting. Just give me a signal if you need that done, okay?
I'd
All right.
rather not alter too much of nature if we can at all help it, given the direction we're hoping to go with the peace talks.
And the
No,
clientele, yes.
this is more so if shit starts going south.
Hmm.
Okay.
Just let me know.
Well,
All right.
that being said, Rosalind, what's the
Yes.
game plan?
Oh. Try to achieve something of an understanding, at the very least, an openness and a willingness to learn. Try to open some doors of considerations that may have been left to the wayside. Very specifically, we want to see some change.
And should an unwelcome Zodiac make a surprise appearance?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, just
Right.
make sure that you have your potions and reagents on you, even if you have to tuck them under a cloak.
Well, I'm going business casual as Ashta's going, so shouldn't be too out of the ordinary.
As he walks and clinks over in armor.
Ashta, did you do anything with that comb I left for you?
It got stuck.
Oh, bend down. Come here. Sit. Fix the hair.
I'm gonna go over to the dwarves, have them give the half plate a bit of polish, and
Right.
then just do the hair up a little bit, just so it looks
Yep.
presentable.
As you head to the dwarves, you see them basically daisy chain braiding each other's beards in these elaborate braids with rings and garments of metal adorning them, as well as same with the hair that usually they wear underneath helmets, hats, things of the sort. But most of them with these long red or these like light, almost like a light rust color to the hair,
Okay.
more maybe closer to the pinker side.
So the dwarves will be in attendance, at least
They're not.
in some capacity.
Yeah, they're not planning to be attendants, but some of them are attendants.
Yes.
Whereas they're helping it with bringing out food, things like that. At the very least, they want to seem presentable. As
Yes. I'm gonna
you
I'm
guys
gonna
be feeling
tell
up to know that
I'm gonna tell them to also be slightly business casual. Wear a bit of chainmail under the under the ceremonial garments and whatnot.
there's a brief, as you say this, there's a brief guffaw from one of Ash's squad saying to one of your squad actually. Told you.
We might be expecting some unwelcome guests, so we want people to be on their guard. So,
The-
bit of chainmail under some ceremonial garments might help.
Yep. They kind of look to you first, and just go. Don't you have braided too?
Well, I need a little polish on the armor, and then I'll do the hair.
Here, one of them of Rosalind's squad, who you're very familiar with at this point. He's one of the ones who most often helped you with the potion making. He
Yeah.
kind of walks up to you and hands you this just like very simple silver ring. And just wear this from us.
Okay.
Good luck, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. But as you get your armor polished, you get one last message from Issa, each of you, saying, I just had a sending spell sent to me. The Archdruid of the Desert is going to act as the representative of the Genasi for now. Apparently they want to keep as many of their powerful spellcasters who are not required to be there nearby, just in case.
Has something happened?
No, but they're nervous. They wouldn't be
Understood.
surprised if, when all this is happening and their normal Archdruid is gone, that those more opportunistic might try to start something,
They didn't want to leave the post open too much.
basically.
So, do you know if the rest of the cities are protected like that? Or at least have other people there protecting them? We did just commandeer all of their powerful spellcasters.
Not all of them. Many of the Glimmers, the Enlightened, and the Realm Rangers are at their homes and wandering around. I'm not gonna lie. From what I've been hearing from the reports, most of the country is on edge right now. No one is lackadaisical.
Oh, that's reassuring, weirdly enough. Thank you.
Also makes sense considering we pretty much just brought both sides of the war into one room.
Yes, this might be the most magical power concentrated on any one area for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the go-ahead from Orzur. He's double-checked all your spells, all working, no signs of interference. He has been at it all night, and everything looks clear. He's got a couple glyphs nearby the, not nearby the Monarch too, as you asked for. Things like freezing spells, teleportation spells that she can activate if she needs to leave quickly, although she seems hesitant to use them. Things like that.
I have the terrible feeling it would be best to stay close to her.
I agree.
Alright.
Well, are you guys ready? It seems that they've gotten through the hors d'oeuvres, and no one's drawn a weapon yet.
Good.
To start.
Do you know where the leader of the rebellion is located? Tess, where is he sitting?
He has taken a seat most close to the arbitrators, where you folks will be sitting, with Orzur, the prince, and Rosalind.
If you all don't mind, before discussions truly begin, I'd just like to have a very quick word with him.
Please
I
do. They're all
suppose-
mingling right now.
I suppose to that end we should probably go and mingle as well, just so it doesn't seem that one of our representatives is singling out a faction.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. I will ask you guys, do you want me to narrate the list of all of the material plane folks, or should I just stick to the Zodiacs for kind of introducing everyone?
Maybe Zodiacs, because there's like 20 material plane?
There's
Roughly,
a
yeah.
lot. Just
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
a lot of people. We'll
So-
intermingle with them
Yeah.
eventually.
give us whoever's
have-
most important, and yeah.
Do you
Sounds
have the list on you? Like, if you could just
yes. Yeah, I have my list here.
drop the list just in Discord so we know?
It is as an Excel sheet, so give me a second.
Shit. Kiazo? Uh,
Jozo.
It's a pretty big list.
Okay.
I've also got a lot of my notes next to them, that's why.
then never mind, it's good.
Yeah, I can send a list in Discord when we take a break, which I think we will be at some point.
Okay.
You can also screen snip it too.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Kiazo.
Galza does. Yeah. All right. So, as you guys head over to mingle, the zodiacs you see is first Taurus. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right one. Yes, Taurus. I'm so nervous right now. Y'all don't even fucking know.
That's okay. There's a lot of names.
Okay, Taurus.
All right. So, just checking here. Yes, I think I've got the right one here. Yes. Okay, Taurus. You're right, that note changed. I did not change it back. That note did change. All right, good. Taurus is the aforementioned other trader, Trader.
Thank
that
you for
lives.
that clarification.
Yep. He is not a Minotaur, unfortunately, but He looks almost like a cross between an Azer and a piece of obsidian. You wouldn't be surprised if he was a golem looking at him at first. But it's this glossy, black, glass-like figure with the same kind of build as an Azer. And it has these massive 2 horns, kind of like a bull, as a helmet that he's wearing on his head. On his back, you do see what looks to be maybe like a quarterstaff of some kind. It looks a lot heavier, though. Made of like this heavy adamantine material. He is seated nearby Leo and sort of mingling with Capricorn, who seems to be just kind of listlessly looking into the glass of his skin and talking at him, maybe not to him. Capricorn, as described before, is this gnarled hag of a woman with a small goat next to her. She's maybe 11, 12 feet tall, robes with everything on her is magical. There's nothing on her that doesn't glow and smell of magic.
That's a tall woman.
She is large, and hunchback too. If she stood tall, you wouldn't be surprised if she was 16, 17 feet tall.
Jesus fucking Christ.
On her face, she has 13 or 14 piercings in each ear, each glowing with magic, and some of them are made of pure fire. It's a lot, to say the least.
I
But
want
she
what she has.
understandable. Next to that, kind of conversing with the two of them, and mostly keeping an eye on everyone, you see him very closely watching the zodiacs, almost like a concerned parent, is Leo. In a beautiful purple and red outfit, seemingly woven out of this metal, and looks relatively refined. He seems to almost have this little bit of a beard made of flames on his face. He grew it overnight if he did.
Bro, he's stunning. What?
And next up, you see Cancer. As you have seen her once before, she is the Yeti. Large, this time wearing pants, not a shirt, but she's wearing pants. And with these absolutely rippling muscles, as well as a lute on her back, as well as a set of drums kind of on a little hip belt.
Oh, she a bard.
I don't have it downloaded right now, but I can get you it really fast. Actually, no, I can't, because when I fucked up my computer, I lost that file. I will get it to you guys post-session if you remind me. Wait, hold on. Nope, it's not gonna work. Alright. Yeah, so she is mostly speaking with what you recognize as Pisces, as Pisces is a Triton. Standing behind Pisces directly is this very clearly paladin of a man, seemingly with this trident in his hands and a massive kite shield on one arm. On the kite shield, you see the stereotypical R-World zodiac symbol of Pisces, as well as on a holy symbol on his neck, the same symbol. Pisces herself is not necessarily a young-looking woman, but she's no aging monarch. She's not 50, 60. She's middle-aged, with a refined, almost like that Elvish-style braid from Lord of the Rings. Very simple jewelry all around her neck and on 2 of her fingers, one in each hand, as well as just a simple pink and blue iridescent dress. She seems calm, but you do see a small holy symbol around her neck that also has her symbol. And that is the zodiacs in attendance. They seem mostly to be leaving the Archdruids alone. You do see the Archdruid of the Desert, the representative of the Genasi. It tries to strike up a conversation with Aquarius. It's stilted, but
Pisces?
she's not ignoring him. Sorry, what did I
Aquarius.
say? I meant to say Pisces. I am
Yeah.
sorry.
I was
Aquarius. Yeah, I think striking up a conversation with
Sorry,
Aquarius would be kind of
my
hard.
mistake.
No,
My brain.
it's okay.
It's like
It's
the
okay.
fish turned into a corpse.
Yeah.
Good reference. Well done.
No, it's okay. We get it. There's a lot of names. You have every right to be
Zodiac
nervous.
turns into
Like,
corpse.
it's okay.
Oh yeah, I'm shitting myself right now.
It's okay. It's okay. We're good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything is
Hey, you know what?
okay.
You know what? Good. I have like 12 pages of notes right
No,
now.
there are
Um,
bound to be mix-ups with names and
Well,
shit. It's okay.
yeah, that's in a normal session. My God. Pretty sure I haven't breathed in the past 6 hours. With that, the Archdruids are mostly conversing. Hold on. Forgetting which Archdruid that is. Where is he? She. Fuck. The most notable one that you guys see of the Archdruids. Remind me, did you guys? No, wait, no, I had that note already. Never mind, I had the answer right here. Fuck. You see the general first of all. From Citadel. He nods as you guys approach, and he is kind of speaking with Orazur, and also whenever one of the Archdruids seems to be giving dirty looks to the Zodiacs, you see a subtle hand in not subtle armor walk over and give a quick talking to. As you guys approach, he immediately walks up to each of you and goes to shake your hand and just, they're actually better behaved than I thought today. Nice to see you all. Do you have do you want me to be keeping an eye out for anything? Any intel? I got most of the update from Orazur, but anything new?
Nothing since we last shared.
Good. Any signals from you guys that I should watch out for, just in case some shit goes to the fan?
Oh, I don't think we need to do anything as complicated as a preset signal. If things go downhill very quickly, you will know immediately.
All right.
At least I
I
expect
will.
so.
I will mention. Orazur has already had to request Capricorn twice turn off any sort of mind reading spells that she had. It doesn't seem like it was malicious. She's politely batty.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Magic tends to do that.
As long as they're all.
Yeah. Leo is actually doing wonderful work. He's already spoken to most of the Archdruids for at least a few minutes and introduced himself. Apologized for some things that have gone on in the past between individuals. Tried to reconcile some differences between. I like that one.
He's
And
got his
yes,
element.
we have some hopes for that one.
We
me
do.
too.
He's doing his best, however far that gets us.
Yes.
And I'm going to make sure to thank him for that.
Yes. I will also mention that I had my Inquisitor forcefully sent home, as he did try to sneak into your
Oh, goodness.
building last night, but I found him trying to do so, and plane shifted him back.
I'm sure
Thank
you did
you.
it before anyone else did. Because I don't think you would have an Inquisitor post that if such thing
No.
occurred.
Out of curiosity, what is the grievance between your Inquisitor and one of these Archdruids?
I couldn't say. He's paranoid, doesn't do it justice. He's bitter about something, and it's only been getting worse lately. I've forced him to be kept under eye of quite a few people, in with at least one wizard in attendance who can anti-magic field if he does anything suspicious. So,
Do you mind pointing out which Archdruid your Inquisitor has temperament with?
yeah, he actually gestures towards what you recognize as the new Shepherd Druid.
Okay, I forgot who it was.
Yes, it was the one who replaced the old Archdruid.
Okay.
And as
It's
well, he
mad.
points at the Dream Archdruid, who
Ah.
is quite he's his boyfriend. It's something about them not doing their job when they need to, and the Shepherd being more of a face than an actual force. I don't know. He's got problems, but he's kept us safe from a couple things lately. Orzor told me about the letter you guys got. No new insight there?
Nothing new.
I'm getting paranoid. I'll stop asking questions repeatedly.
It's alright. I think we're all a bit on edge.
Yeah.
Out of character thing. Rosalind's shape changer thing hasn't picked up on anything yet, has it?
No, seems all good.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So.
I'll go ahead and click the thing just so it's fresh in mind and
Yep.
everything. But illusion, transmutation, magic, 30 feet, line of sight, etc. True form.
Furthermore, I'm aware of any invisible creatures within 30 feet of me as long as they're not actually hiding.
Yep, no invisible creatures. You do see there is the slightest illusion magic, kind of like a prestidigitation on the on Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
It seems the iridescence is not natural to her dress.
Okay.
That's it.
Dressed it up a little bit. That's okay.
Yeah, but it's basically a dress of glamour kind of thing, where it's made to look fancy.
All right.
All right, there we go.
We'll let Esther talk to Tess. Rosalind's not talking to anybody in particular, but she is kind of doing rounds of like niceties or whatever all the way up and down.
Yeah.
So,
Out of curiosity, just give me a charisma check for that, Rosalind.
Yay!
I'm just curious.
All right. Do I get advantage from having the rod, or is that only when you speak on something that you speak on a cause you believe in? So probably not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
19.
19. You seem to make a good impression. There is actually a brief moment where. Do you also go to the Zodiacs to try to communicate for a bit or no?
Yeah. Every single group, at least. Might not talk to every single person, but I'm trying to, like, not show favoritism, if that makes sense.
Alright.
Esther will also occasionally just like peek into Rosalind's senses and insight whoever she's talking about.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me like a expansive insight check. Just one that's going to basically count as your passive for this.
Can I offer... I was going to ask, could I offer help because it's through my senses and also I am proficient?
Yeah, you'd have the action to do so. Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh,
There's
nice.
an actual roll for once.
Alright, so that'll be your functional passive insight for this brief moment. For the most part, they're playing politics.
Mm-hmm.
Leo and Pisces especially. Leo definitely has a much different demeanor than he did yesterday, but it is a much more polite and less desperate demeanor than he did last time. The face was salesman type of thing. Pisces is hiding her general disdain for some of the archdruids, most of them, honestly. But it's not behind a veil of pretend. It's behind a veil of I'm gonna sit here and act like a goddamn family for once type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Rosin, as you make your rounds for a brief time, Capricorn like fully looks at you and turns her full attention towards you, and makes small talk. Essentially, it's weird small talk. She asks, when you steep certain types of tea, how long do you tend to steep it for, and then tries to give you advice on that.
All right.
But it's nothing crazy.
Yep.
Otherwise, though, yeah, the archdruids are very nervous. A couple of them express that they want you to keep an eye on this zodiac or this zodiac or this zodiac, and double so to Ashta. But for the time being, Esther, as you pull aside Tess.
Hi. It's nice to meet you. My name is Esther. Esther Macken.
He immediately stands up and goes to shake her hand. Of the Genasi, yes?
Yes, and of Averos, where you stand now, I suppose.
Negros. I never got the chance to communicate with you all, but I do respect what you've done here. A separate from conflict and civilization, over the heads of everyone. It's quite the statement. Well done.
In all honesty, it didn't start out this way, but I suppose that's where we are now, so thank you.
You've done good work with the resources you had. I approve. Though I presumed that you would prefer my organization to not try to extend the olive branch, as assuming you would do this, keep the same distance from the archdruids.
What do you mean? Sorry, I'm a bit confused.
We wouldn't try to recruit you, as it were, as I assume you would be trying to keep that distance from both sides of this conflict.
We remain, again, this is, at least for today, is a statement of neutrality, but I will be honest, I admire some of the work that you've done.
Glad to hear it.
I know this is going to come off as very odd, but I wanted to ask about potentially one of your recruits. I don't know if she ever made it there.
Go ahead.
This was months ago now, but her name is Lucy. She was 14 when I last saw her. She might be 15 now, but not a day goes by that I don't worry about her.
Lucy, do you have any other identifying features? Young Lucy, I definitely know a few, though I can't say I know every person that is
Uh,
around us.
she wants to join the rebellion to overthrow the druids. She believes the druids only want to remain the same and refuses
You
to
can
change.
give a physical description if you'd like.
Yeah, that's all I have. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. He nods, and that sounds familiar. I do remember hearing something about a young, angry, rambunctious girl doing her best to convince us that she's worth being a soldier at 15.
That would be her.
Yes.
If you see her, if you happen to hear word of her, let her know that Esther is looking for her.
You see him actually the faintest twitch of a smile on the one side, and I will do so. They, I guess they haven't exaggerated your, what was the word they used? Matronliness?
Yes, I suppose that fits. I care for people, though sometimes I suppose I might care a bit too much, but
Right.
it is in my nature.
In a very opposite manner of action, I find myself doing the same, I feel.
I understand. Thank you for allowing me your time.
And thank you for inviting me here. I was surprised I actually got invited.
Everyone is given a chance to speak here,
Yes, a nice change.
one that I will strive to keep.
Go ahead and just give me a persuasion check. You can swap out intelligence for charisma if you'd like. Basically, if you have proficiency, roll an intelligence with proficiency. If not, just roll an intelligence check.
Okay. Can I use feign for advantage on an intelligence check?
Yeah, you can go for it.
Ooh! Ooh! Fuck! I didn't like that.
He seems at least vaguely approving of you.
That's fine. That's okay.
He kind of turns to face everyone and says, "Shall we get this party started?"
You can fucking. There's a very loud sigh over the feign from Esther of oh god.
Quick question: what's your facial reaction as he does that?
Just as a very like small smile and just kind of closing of the eyes. Just,
As you open up, you see him pulling out this tiny little notebook out of his pocket and write something down. As he pulls out, you see on the front cover it says Icebreakers 101. And he just
Oh
makes a
no!
note inside and closes it and puts it back in his pocket.
oh,
He gives you this awkward pat on the shoulder and he steps away.
Good on you, mate.
he's trying his best. God
He's trying
damn
his
it.
best.
Aw, what the fuck? That's so cute. OMG.
He's high intelligence, low charisma, isn't he?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I'd say with Ash's insight from earlier and the brief conversations you've had with him, it seems anytime he's not talking on platitudes, he is distinctly uncomfortable.
Yeah. Talk about the weather, but don't ask about
Nice
his
quote.
family or something.
Yep, but if you bring up politics, he is ready to fucking go.
Haha. I mean, there's a certain irony in him being the leader of a political. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Yep. You would know Rosalind. He's more of a wartime leader than a charismatic leader.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
His
Okay.
social train of thought is a bit more literal in that if it goes off the rails, it fucking crashes.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you all can assemble and any last conversations anyone wants to have, Orzer gives a general all ahead. You can see the slight bags under his eyes, as well as can smell the caffeine potions, basically, that Purvis makes on his breath.
Yeah.
But he gives a pretty good all clear, and basically a bit of it almost seems too good. No spells have been tampered with outside of the ones that the Inquisitor tried to get through, and even that got stopped before he even tried to do anything proper. All the runes are still there. Et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
He better
And to
fucking
answer your
not
question,
be.
Ash's uncle is essentially
Not
wearing.
uncle.
Oh, not
Oh,
his
sorry.
uncle. We thought his dad.
Oh, fuck me! I took Dad Lightwell as the uncle.
No,
No.
like his
Because I was assuming
genuine
that was what
dad.
mattered.
No. We know that he's gone off and become, like, joined the rebellion or whatever, and I'm kind of wondering.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask,
Sorry.
like, in character,
I took Dad
Rosalind.
Lightwell as not literal dad.
No, literal dad. I wanted, regardless, because she knows that, and because she's a little bit wondering in the back of her head, Rosalind will kind of, as she's doing this round, look over everybody who seems to be part of that.
Ensemble?
Anybody who might have come with the with Tess, and see if anybody looks like, well, kind of like Ashta.
Okay.
Just on the off
Go ahead.
chance.
Go ahead and roll either a perception or an insight check.
Same bonus on either, except my passive perception is high.
Okay, if you want to use passive, you can use passive instead of roll it.
Yeah, my passive perception is due to that +5 for well, observant.
Can I give Rosalind like advantage on this on the basis of Asher's probably consistently looking through her eyes, and if there's ever a point where he sees,
His
there
dad.
might be a hey.
Yeah, go ahead and you can either take passive with an additional +5 or roll advantage.
Passive with an additional +5 puts me at 26.
26 sounds good. Any resemblances are distant at best.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say with that crew, there's not even another Asimar or anything similar. Most people who have facial hair have like a full face of facial hair, like a beard or something, as they're all from basically the ice flows region.
Yeah, I'm basically throwing images at Ashta. That one? No. That one? No. That one? No.
No.
The police lineup.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just an old guy, just an old guy, just an old guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was at least got my eye color.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it seems
Targeted a carriage for that guy.
Ashta's father is nowhere to be seen.
Okay.
The uncle, though, the actual proper dad, is basically decided to wear guard armor so he would be relatively inconspicuous to those who are not actively familiar with him.
He's trying to fucking camo so bad right now.
And so that
He's not doing a bad
that one fucking archer doesn't immediately have a meltdown.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So as you guys
The Eric Okra.
as you guys get ready to get going, the monarch basically drops her head down to you, Wilson, and just say, "Shall I call the meeting to fruition, or shall you?"
I believe that you have the more noticeable presence at the moment.
Don't sell yourself short, but all right. And the monarch goes to step for a second and then leans back down, and there's this almost like gleam in her eye. And did you want it to be dramatic or calm?
Calm, please. I don't think I have the heart for the other right now.
I wasn't sure if the play would calm me down or not. Glad I asked. And
Calm and
as they
orderly.
as they straighten back up as much as a bird can straighten up, there was a clearing of the throat, and immediately all eyes turned to the monarch. All the guards on the ramparts who are not actively holding a crossbow briefly kneel to her or bow. All the dwarves who are walking around do the same thing. Taking the note from them, Orzer gives a firm look to the archdruids and does the same. And the Zodiacs quickly follow with a note from Leah. Capricorn seems to like nod her head and then get distracted by something else, but no one seems to say anything about it.
I like Capricorn, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, thank you all for coming and for keeping the peace. I will not speak long. I am the watcher of this castle. You have been invited here by my guests, who have been allowed to act as temporary managers, I suppose is a good way to put it, of this island and the beings there within. They have asked you all to come here under the understanding that there will be peace and order, and I expect you to listen to the word of our 3 arbiters, as well as the other managers of this place. Orzer, as the most of you know, Prince Rainier, as less of you may know, act as different representatives of the people of the land below. And Lady Rosalind will be the head arbiter of this meeting. Lady Rosalind, if you would like to take it away.
We are here not just to rebuild what has been broken, but to build it into something new and better and stronger than it was. I trust that all of you came here with at least the intent to listen and to understand, as that is the first step to any sort of lasting peace. This war should never have begun, but it did, and what is done cannot be undone. However, there is still a path forward, and we can change that course. Even if it doesn't alter here and now in an instant, we can lay the first steps and the groundwork. We have here members of the elemental planes, their representatives, their leaders. We have the current leaders of this country. We have those who have brought up issue with the way that it is currently run and would seek to see alterations made. I want to see all of these things come together, offer something unique, and create something new. So, to that end, I would like to have a representative from each of these groups bring up the salient points of their side, their view of these conflicts, and we will start to address how these various points can fit together, be resolved, and potentially even resolve each other. And she's just gonna start, however the table is seated, probably just go directly to her right and give each group a little bit of a certain amount of time to start talking, and she's just gonna just open up the peace talks.
Yep. As you do, Orzer sends you a brief feign of well done, and go ahead and give me a charisma check of your choice for how that opening speech goes over with everyone.
Okay, that is going to be a persuasion.
And with advantage absolutely from the rod.
Thank you. I almost didn't click it.
Mm-hmm.
28.
Excellently done. There is
Advantage.
Nice.
was it a 1 at
It was
first?
a 3 at first.
Oh Jesus.
To be fair, it was a
That
3
wasn't
plus
bad.
11, so still a 14. Better
Yes.
than average. But yeah.
The speech itself almost seems to put a resolve into most of the people here. There are a couple holdouts. Capricorn, of course. Pisces doesn't seem particularly swayed by it, but she does seem appreciative of it. As I'm still using Ashta's insight from earlier, you guys would all know this. The Aarakocra Archdruid has a bit of a sour look on his face, but that's almost not surprising.
He's a bit of a bitch, let's be real.
Otherwise, though, it seems to have gone over quite well with everyone. Orzer basically says, I'll speak to the material plane non-archdruids. Wait for them to tell us when they're ready. Do you want to take care of the Archdruids and Prince Rainier can take care of the Zodiacs, or would you rather swap? Just kind of make sure their conversation keeps going on a good track while they figure out their points and their leader.
Alright. Political
Basically,
acumen brain time. Is the assumption that Prince Rainier is going to connect better with the Zodiacs on the basis of being someone elemental in nature as a Genasi, and Rosalind with the Druids on the basis of just not, and also just living there? Or would it be better to swap in Prince Rainier with the Archdruids, because technically Prince of the country
Yes.
with
If you ask Wizard, he'll basically explain to you. The reason he initially jumped to that one is because he doesn't trust that all the Archdruids will listen to Rainier, but he does trust they'll listen to you.
Okay.
He basically sees you as the most effective persuasive force, and because the Archdruid is the largest group, he wants to send you that way.
Okay. Yep. That's kind of what I was wondering for like Rosalind political acumen that I don't have. Yep, that'll be the way to go then.
Or is there, for the purpose of this as well as Rainier, is happy to lend any advice you need, as they both do have Fane you can use to talk.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so with that, as the different groups begin to pick out a leader and do their best, let's take a quick 3-minute break. We're going to take 2 breaks this session, so grab any water, use the washroom if you need to. I'll be right back.
That speech was awesome, Ariel.
I completely spitballed and I had nothing prepared. I wasn't ready for
Dude,
this.
it was so good.
That was very good, yes.
Seriously, you should be really proud of yourself for coming up with that.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay, honey. None of us know what we're fucking doing.
None of us do.
Use Fane, darling. You got Fane.
Yeah.
We will help you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosalind knows what she's doing. I don't. That's the thing.
Well, I think you're doing just great.
You're doing fine.
Why did I make a charisma person? Why did I make a noble with diplomatic stuff? Why did I do this?
This was coming.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that we rescued a princess from a tower and now she's like leading the peace talks, like, can we like talk about that?
No.
I fully thought you had that speech written ahead of time.
No.
Yeah, so did I. That's why I'm pretty
That's
fucking
really
surprised that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, shit.
Stuff there.
Like, seriously, that was pretty good for coming it up with the fucking fly. Like, I thought you'd written that ahead of time.
Uh-oh.
I feel like that answers why you did a charisma caster and why you're playing Himmel as well. Because you're good at charisma-based characters, you're just not confident with them.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get more grapes.
Tell him where.
troubles on a burning fire.
Not surprised.
The MCA.
The mother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's something funny about the player playing Esther singing Mother Mother.
Was it really surprising though? Not really.
No, but it's funny.
It's funny.
Also, I only discovered them like 2 months ago. Fuck, they're good.
I
It's
discovered
edgy
them
as shit, but I love them.
I discovered them as a meme.
Same.
Just like, you play a Warlock, tell me, how much Mother do you listen to? I'm like, fuck you.
Quick question, Conrad.
Yes.
In hindsight, was
Oh,
our
God.
only chance to actually like meet Ashta's dad in game going to be through a dream spell?
There were a couple of, if you guys ever interacted with the
No, I don't mean like far back. I mean like going up to this immediately. Cause I did, yeah. I was thinking, dream spell, Ashta talks to dad, it's very possible now. And then I was thinking, nah, he's part of, like, the rebellion and significant, like, player-character connection. He's probably gonna turn up at the peace talks, and it would be better with everybody there. So, no. So we opted against it.
I generally made the choice for this portion of, like, the general peace talks, at least at this point, to try to avoid any sort of backstory-related characters coming into play, just to kind of keep the focus on the story because there's already a lot to juggle at once.
Yeah, so we made a
Yeah.
miscalculation. Okay.
Yes, apologies for that. Yeah. All right, but is everyone back?
To help lighten the mood very quickly before we return. Oh wait, fuck. I was gonna make a joke and then I forgot.
You know what? Valid. Completely valid.
Oh fuck! No, I wasn't gonna make a joke about a dumbass. I was gonna say something about a music song. A music
no.
song.
Music song.
Burning Pile by Mother Mother.
Burning Pile
No,
is very fitting for the song to come to mind there.
no, the one where it's like Dragula and Toxic and Love Shack all combined.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've been on
It's
TikTok.
so good!
It
It's
is
so fucking
Very
good!
good.
It does pop.
I've been listening to it 2 days straight.
That's fair. But I assume
Yes.
from Devin being muted that Devin is not here yet.
No.
Oh man.
In that case, I have another joke. So, an actual one. So,
I'm
you
totally
know,
imagining this guy with this fucking like jokes to calm down a party like in her hand.
honestly, yeah, everyone's stressed, so I'm gonna say some stupid shit to make people feel a little less stressed. So,
I can respect that.
you know that John Mulaney skit where it's like, what is college? Like, stop going until we figure it out. You know that one?
Yeah.
I feel like being ace is that, but with like attraction. Just what is this? Like, stop doing it until we figure it out. And I feel like that's what that is.
I do like the idea of an ace scientist being like, okay, hold on. You're telling me people do what now?
Literally.
And they do it why?
Like, oh god, like I
Scientific.
understand reproduction is important for a species, but like what is sexual attraction? Like let's stop doing it until we figure it out, shall we?
Take one look at the fucking angel you guys helped and ask me that question again.
That is not. That is just me
I
wanting
know,
to
I
be
know.
held.
Understandable.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat my grapes
Also fair.
Where she can stick her grapes in the fridge.
in the fridge. You ever bit a grape sideways?
What does
Yeah.
that mean, Anaya?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
There's
dude?
long way and then there's short way for grape. Grape is orphan.
Yeah.
Wait,
Grape
which way do you guys
is
normally bite it?
like, well, no,
Teeth for the long way or the short way?
First, you
Short
get
way.
the bottle, you decork the bottle, and then you drink it.
No.
no, I usually just put the whole grape in my mouth and bite down.
Yeah, but that was what I was asking. Do you ever like bite a grape in half?
Sometimes.
No, but like,
You
cause
gotta
like if
find
you
out
like,
if it's a bad
hey,
grape or
wait,
not.
like if you like, like if you like, and then you take the grape and you just like,
Oh my god. Are you
You
really,
know?
Did you really turn on? Did you really turn on your video
This is
camera? Did you really turn on your video camera for this? Did you really?
yes,
Did you?
yes. Because like, see, and then you bite it like
Oh.
that, and then it's got like a little smile on it, and then if I take my canines and I poke him, now he looks like a little deformed happy boy.
I feel like that's the
And I
equivalent
eat
to
him.
making like the smiley face of apple slices.
What were you
You're
like? You
saying
put your
that
mouth?
Sky doesn't also do that?
But this guy, can I request turn off the video just because it lags me out really hard?
It
Oh,
does.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, like the only weird way I have ever eaten a grape, I feel like, is I used to peel my grapes before I eat them.
Yo,
'Cause I
I
thought
used
that
to
was
do that too.
but like I used to use it as like a potato peeler. So I was
Oh,
like,
what the fuck?
well, I was
Wow.
like 6 and wasn't allowed to use a knife, so I got a potato peeler and just
See,
peel
no,
the
see,
grapes.
I have
Potato
large teeth, so I just used to pick the skin off with my teeth, and then I'd eat the grape, and then I'd eat the skin.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
Uh-huh. At least that way I never had a mushy grape, because if it was mushy, it would dissolve in my hands once the skin was off of it.
I mean, fair, I guess.
only had hard grapes, brother. Mushy grapes are fucking disgusting and they deserve to be executed.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, you know those posts that are like the things that make you weirdly uncomfortable, even though they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I remember seeing that like I swear haunts me every time I eat grapes is a dude who would just eat grapes by the handful and like not check if they're squishy first. And just for whatever reason, I hate that idea.
Hmm.
Hello.
I don't like
Hello.
that.
All right, so with peace talks commencing again, is everyone good to go?
They must be firm. Yes.
Vice versa for all your grape conflicts.
My character will be serious, but me, no, I'm not. No.
Understandable.
I'm not
Well,
taking this seriously. Esther can, but I'm fucking not.
yeah, fair enough. That's what we got commentary for. So, as you, the rest of you, by the way, what are you doing while Rosalind plays head arbitrator?
I want to talk with Leo.
He is in the middle of a conversation with the rest of the Zodiacs.
I'm gonna make sure that Gorilla is okay.
All right, Guril is keeping an eye on things. You see that he seems to have True Sight going, and is just
Good.
keeping an eye out for illusory, transmutation, illusion, stuff like that. Also looking to the ethereal plane, I believe, is part of True Sight, right?
True seeing spell. Yes. I
Yes, so
don't
he's
know true sight.
Yeah, so he's keeping an eye there with True Seeing.
While the political stuff is going on, I'm not really a part of any of these talks because again, that's Rosalind's dealio. Just like subtly flirt with Gorilla just to see what kind of reactions I can get.
He is doing his absolute best to ignore you.
Oh, that's just gonna make me try harder, Conrad.
He's aware of this. He doesn't know what else to do though. At one point, Ashton might get a fan of like, please help me.
He doesn't have
He
pain.
doesn't have pain.
He
He doesn't
doesn't.
have pain. He
refused
rejected my
one.
offer of
right.
pain.
That's right.
Yeah.
He rejected my
In
offer.
that case,
He's
he'll
fucking
probably,
stuck.
he'll probably do a message spell to Ashta. I'm just like she's trying to distract me.
Message
stop.
has a verbal component.
Yes, and he, as one of the guards, he's allowed to do so.
I'm joking.
Yep. Xenia, what are you doing?
Probably doing laps, and if Sammy's around, just go, so, finances, and walk away.
Yep. She holds up this like scroll of parchment she's got. That's basically just like got a list for demands of one, demands of the other, demands of the third, and like try to balance that out.
Laps, head count, checking
Flight
for any
identification.
contraband.
Yep, go ahead and give an investigation or perception check.
That's a 34.
34. You can see that Tauros seems to have a wand, kind of like a very small wand, strapped to the inside of his like forearm, where it connects to the wrist. It's made of the same obsidian as his skin is, but it's not being used for anything. It just seems to be kept subtle. Past that, the Arakok Archdruid has a similar holly leaf, basically holy symbol, hidden underneath his jacket.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if you consider what Orzer and the General have as contraband. They just have stuff at the ready if need be.
Probably just feigned. These are just like, this is what's on these people. Beside on the fence.
Okay.
Also, just checking if anyone like.
I will say, Esther, all the Zodiacs are talking amongst themselves right now, trying to do part of the discussion.
I know this is just a note for later.
Okay.
Yeah, just putting notes out. Also just checking sobriety as well, because we put it as a dry event. But if anyone is inebriated, I would like to know and have them dealt with.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, you are using the same kind of perception score from before.
Capricorn is.
You probably distantly hear at one point in Magard, I know one of the dwarves, try to take a sip of something, and the sound of Ash's uncle going like, "Don't you fucking dare!"
The one of them brought a flask.
Xenia will like,
yeah,
just like lean over to her and just be like, "Didn't know you were here."
Yep. He
Thank you.
salutes you and then gives you a wink.
You like winks back just because I don't know how to talk to these fucking prisoners. I was
That's
supposed to be one of them, man. I don't know what the hell's going on in there.
That's fair. All right, Fergus, what are you doing? Fergus, John,
Yeah.
what is Fergus doing?
Fergus is trying to do a little bit of intermingling, but also like just like casual conversation. Trying to be interesting enough to be to be worth talking to, but like that whole thing where like they forget about me by the time I leave their vision, and then just sort of circling and also doing minor laps,
Okay, you make the
being
rounds.
convincing enough.
Yes. Most of the people I imagine you target for this is the guards brought by the various people here, not the people who you live on the same island with. And you can go ahead and roll me a quick just charisma check of your choice. Probably deception or persuasion.
We'll go with deception because I'm actually proficient in that.
Yeah, go for it.
13.
13? Okay.
So yeah,
You do reasonably.
yeah.
You definitely stand out.
I don't want to. Just like I don't want to stand out too much. Just be sort
Yeah.
of like a face in the crowd. Just sort of.
Of the arbiters, you probably do stand out the least.
Yeah.
But you are recognized as someone who is basically quote unquote owns the island.
Yeah.
And Ashton, what are you doing?
He is checking pretty much anything and everything to do with physical weaponry, anyone making any sort of body language to intent, like have any sort of intent to attack or anything. He's probably at a point while the talks are going on. Um, not not using his full use of it, but trying his best to just see if he can tell if there's any planar stuff going on in the area, any portals or anything, any of Leo's kind of thing, even if Leo's not the one doing it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and give me a quick either insight or perception check with advantage for the weapon thing.
Okay.
If you want, you can do insight just to leave Xenia's perception as standing.
Okay, that's just a -1 to that then.
Okay. So 22. Yeah. Yeah, aggressive behavior from anyone seems to be stomped out very quickly, if not by a guard, if someone outside the main conversationalists. Very quickly, either Leo, Ronier, or what's it called? Sorry, Leo, Orzer, or the general very quickly puts a stop to any sort of raised voice, any sort of active argumentation. As for the portalic magic, go ahead and give me. What do we normally use for that? It's just raw wisdom, right?
I think so.
Or is it nature with wisdom?
Something or other. Yeah, I don't think it's been the most consistent.
Okay, let's go with nature with wisdom with advantage because of your portal magic.
Right, well, I don't have proficiency, so just wisdom with advantage then.
Okay. 13. Yeah, nothing unusual. You might distantly feel like the vestiges of those last teleportation spells that got the Zodiacs here. But for the most part, there's no portals in the area that you can sense. There's no extra planar influence that is not expected here. Especially not in the castle. As you know, there are protections against any sort of teleportation from within or without the plane. Without basically express permission.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems good. All right. So, Rosalind with the Archerids. The argument is quick to flare up. There's a couple people all vying to be the leader, the speaker of these folks. The three main ones, get them written here. Just make sure I'm reading my notes properly, because oh boy, is the general. Is one of the more favored ones from the older Archdruids, the new Shepherd Archdruid, and the Aarakocra. They seem to be the three primary people. There is one vote to put the Genasi Archdruid as the head one, the one of the desert, but that's mostly ignored.
Yeah. If I've got any room to step in there, I'll point out that since the Desert Archdruid is acting as representative of the Genasi people, he would have to speak separately on their matters anyhow, so it may be best that he handles that. Whereas the main government matters for the Archdruid's faction might be better in someone else's hands.
Right. And are you going to try to put any sway subtly towards any one individual from the Archdruids? It doesn't have to be one of those three, just any that you would like, if you have that option.
I don't remember all of them. And in all honesty, I'm not sure that I know any of them as being the best of the lot for this.
Alright. So, as the conversation continues for the first portion, and you do notice that the Archdruids are the longest to have a conversation, but it is somewhat to be expected.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. The vote seems to be mostly split between the general and the shepherd archdruid. Pretty quickly, the Aarakocra is shot down, as it's been noticed by most of the relaxed archdruids that he's quick to argue and quick to temper. You do notice that the shepherd archdruid does seem especially persuasive, in kind of like a showboaty type of way.
I don't really want showbirdie right now, I want to the point. So, if that's the choice, I would want to sway it a little bit more in the direction of the general, because all I want from this is not, I'm the leader of these people, it's, here are our concerns, I'm gonna deliver them.
Alright. So, go ahead and if you would like to sway that, give me a charisma check with advantage.
Okay.
20. Alright. You're careful enough with who you, not quite shut down, but keep the energy low. And with the slight process of rushing, that you can sway enough votes that the general is the speaker. It seems the druids are defaulting to voting whenever there's a disagreement, and that it seems to be working out pretty well for right now. From there, they move on to the arguments they want to make. The first one is unanimously reparations for Peduncle. What the Zodiacs plan to do in response to that. Furthermore, they want, if not reparations, explanations for the volcanic core in Valeri. And the final point is reparations for the dead Archdruids. Particularly the one from the Goblinoid army. As that death has left them down an Archdruid that represents a very large portion of the population. Few of them seem to be conversing about peace. Even the general seems to have it almost in the back of his mind. It's mostly, what are you going to do in exchange for what you did to us?
Noted. Yeah, that's going down as, not getting the star sticker in their book today. Okay.
Right. And for any of these, you can always add stuff. You can try to put forward points. You are treated, if not as a full vote here, as someone who has an outside perspective and is respected enough that they'll listen to you if you put a request forward.
Yep.
Or at least question it.
I am actually going to wait until each person has made their initial points, and then I'm going to bring up something else to them as a group.
Okay,
So, after all of them have done this, and before they start arguing about it.
Yes, go for it.
Oh, no. I don't mean, like, after the Druids and the Zodiacs and the
gotcha.
Rebellion. All of them.
Okay, are you going to wait for them to reassemble altogether?
I'm waiting
or are you going to wait for...
Okay, the Archdruids just brought up they want reparations for this, this, and this. That was their things, right?
Yes.
They brought that up to the entire assembly.
Oh, so they're each kind of separated their own like factions right now, trying to bring up what points they want to bring up to the assembly, basically.
Okay. So they're
Yes,
running
sorry.
them by me or something? I'm not
So,
understanding.
so each of the three arbiters, the main ones,
Yes.
went to one of the groups
Yes.
so that they could, for the sake of saving time, discuss among themselves what they want to bring up as the primary points, the salient points, as you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
That way, they don't waste time arguing around each other, and that way they're within each faction able to decide what the primary points are.
Mm-hmm.
When I say the assembly, I mean all three of those groups.
Yes.
Okay, so are you waiting for them to all reconvene, or are you going to wait for before that?
I'm gonna wait for them to all I'm probably gonna wait for them all to reconvene because I want to bring up this thing after they've all brought up their points.
Okay. So, from there as they do
Because
so.
I don't know what the others are.
Okay, perfect. So, as they do so, first up to speak would probably be given to Orzer's group, the somewhat outsiders. The primary point is A, for what the rebellion is going to be treated as for this talks. Are they going to be treated as a separate government, or are they going to be treated as beings of this plane of existence and simply as equals of the Archdruid? And the secondary point, made mostly by the Desert Archdruid, who's been kind of going between the two groups to act as a double representative, is will the Genasi people be treated separately? Kind of the same question. Will they be given a refugee status if peace talks don't happen? Will those who did act as refugees during the war be given some way to get back easily, and who will be in charge of that? None of those points are immediately contested, as everyone's kind of listing their main arguments. The Zodiacs, headed by Rainier, Leo stands as their representative, brings up reparations for the assassination of two of the Zodiacs, specifically Sagittarius and where is it? Fuck. Scorpio. Furthermore, to ask what role you guys played in relation to the other governments, and how much you guys should be considered part of them. At some point during the conversation, Rainier will send you a feign saying, Leo seems to be making that point for to give you guys a chance to separate yourselves if you really want to. It's kind of a gimme for you guys.
That was a plan.
And to find... Oh, good.
I hope you won't mind if you end up in any position of power if we maintain a certain amount of separation.
Please. I encourage it.
Excellent.
And his final 2 points that he wants to make is that they wish to assist the Archdruids in bringing back all of the Elder Elementals that still remain on this plane, such that they don't have to be killed for it. As well as... Oh, John, careful with your mic there. Fuck, lost my train of thought, sorry.
Assist in bringing back Elder Elementals to their proper planes.
So that we don't have to kill, and...
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I was in my notes. To an extent, basically, a general explanation of the civil war currently going on in the elemental planes, which he asks to bring up before the Archdruids bring up their point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he gives the general rundown that Ares acted as a traitor in the past couple days, and for a long time had been, at some level, manipulating the rest of the Zodiacs into a much more violent conflict, as he was the one, who forced the conversation between obliteration of the southern half of the country and just Peduncle. Esther, go ahead and give me a perception or an insight check. Pisces seems very willing to support Leo, mostly in body language, but is trying to make a very clear distinction that she supports Leo in him saying that Ares is a traitor. When it gets to the part of forcing them to decide between the two types of war, she's a little bit less excited about that part, it seems.
Interesting. Okay.
And with that, he basically concludes that, as a general statement, the Zodiacs want peace, as their primary driving factor was Ares and the now usurped puppet master of 13. It is quickly questioned by the Aarakocra Archdruid if that why he started saying 13, not the actual name. And he makes it very clear that it is that they are no longer associated with it and therefore do not want eyes drawn upon this place. And asks that everyone else respect that wish too, and also refer to them as 13. From there, he thanks you for giving me a chance to speak and turns to the Archdruids. The Archdruids make their 3 points, as mentioned. You see a couple times that Tauros goes to argue before they get to finish, and Leo quickly stops him. At one point, he ignores Leo trying to stop him, and Rainier interrupts the Archdruids to tell Tauros to basically be quiet or be removed. And
Woof.
Tauros listens.
All right. So with that done, Rosalind's going to bring up that the Zodiacs did ask reparations for incidents during war, but they did also mention that they wish to assist in bringing back the Elder Elementals to the proper planes. The representatives of the government of Panacea, you made requests for various reparations and explanations, but to achieve peace, what would you offer? What would you do? What is your action in this? What's your step? Because as of right now, your current arguments are standing still. Please. We all need to walk in order to move forward.
You see there's a bit of an uneasy look between the Archdruids, and the general kind of stands up and nods to Rosalind. Thank you, Leader Rosalind. In retrospect, we may have been a bit focused on the damages we have taken, as it were. That being said, we have comparatively launched far fewer assaults, and depending on your stance on who you ally yourself with, the only primary directive we had to influence this war, as we dealt with the civil war on our borders, was one of defense. That being said, we are prepared to offer, at least myself, I'm prepared to offer, as I cannot speak for the rest of the Archdruids unanimously, a sort of garrison force and a protected diplomatic place from each of the planes within the material plane, such that we can prevent misunderstandings from happening again. But that is reliant on how you and yours plan to ally themselves, Lady Rosalind.
Of course. As of now, we on Averus strive to remain fairly neutral. We will admit that the material is far more our home, and we would not like to see it destroyed, invaded. However, we have value for the various other planes as well. Elemental, Fey. We don't want to see the peoples of those planes trapped here and destroyed for no way back. We'd rather be a bridge, a hub, a place of communication, understanding, learning, exchange. Perhaps one day we will be able to fill that role as intended. For now, we make a start by offering ourselves as a little patch of neutral ground neither of Panacea nor of the other planes, so that this discussion can be held. As
Right.
for defensive against offensive actions during this conflict, it's true enough there were few invasions going the other way. But I would say that my point still stands from earlier. You shouldn't forget the past. You shouldn't ignore it, but neither should you turn your faces so fully towards it that you can't walk to the future. So, how exactly shall we rebuild and move forward?
You see both Leo and Tess go to stand up at the same time. Tess quickly acquiesces to Leo, and Leo stands up and apologies. I'll make a quick Tess. Would you of Averos be willing to act as a liaison, a sort of neutral ground, as you mentioned, a area of diplomatic immunity between all the parties involved? As I hope I'm not stepping on any toes here. I'm not as familiar with your government as you all may be. It seems you are a split government between the monarchy, the Archdruid Circle, and the other magical influences of this country. If that is the case, can we agree that Averos can be the place in which any conversations be housed for the sake of peace, for the sake of protection, and as a gesture of trust of the folks we have here? As us of the Zodiacs wish to state that the Zodiacs who were killed, um, we do believe were most likely to become on the other side of our civil war. Ronier kind of nods, and everyone in agreement? And hands go up around the circle. No one, there's few holdouts. There's primarily in the Archdruid section. There is the, let's see here, the Shepherd Druid, the Aarakocra, and the Moon Druid. Moon Druid, you guys would know enough to know that they basically are acting as the primary rebuilding force in Peduncle. And during the conversations, Rosalind, you'd recognize them as very much wanting Peduncle to go back to what it was before, the center of this country, and have been hesitant on anything that takes power away from that. But as the votes are unanimous otherwise, Leo kind of nods and gestures towards Tess. Tess kind of stands up, and I'm inclined to agree on a similar point. As one of those separate governments, as you mentioned, we of the Glimmer Revival would like to encourage a similar area of peace. Potentially to assist in the peace in our civil war too, in the Northwest. This would be in Aconitum, as it represents the most neutral ground of our conflict, and the Archdruids are welcome to join us as diplomats there. And yes, I believe that's where I'd like to end my statement. He kind of sits back down. There's a half-hearted clap from one of the Archdruids before someone glares at him. From there, you notice this whole time that the general and the shepherd Archdruid are conversing between themselves. And the shepherd actually stands up. And as someone with a bit less of a military background, I would like to offer potentially a secondary house equivalent to that of an Aconitum in Peduncle, once it is rebuilt. We believe that in exchange for the removal of the Phoenix currently resided there, brought by my former senior, that would act as a good place for an diplomatic community. And possibly as a step for the first time of us to work together. Furthermore, we would like to offer a more trade-based deal, assuming that the relevant cities can agree to it. The precise details of which I leave up to our financiers here. And additionally, in exchange for the difficulties caused by this war that we have done little to prevent, well, he gestures towards the general, who nods and stands up instead. As long as it is agreed upon, we would like to offer soldiers to help end the civil war that is happening both on the elemental planes and within the schism between the elemental planes and the astral plane. He kind of nods, and everyone kind of turns to you, Rosalind, for your response to this.
The term diplomatic immunity may be a bit loaded. Diplomatic neutrality, embassy locations. Perhaps.
Thank you. Embassy was the word for this whole time.
Okay.
You've been using the word.
I couldn't think of the word this whole time.
It's okay.
Jesus Christ, thank you.
Yep.
You've been using the word wrong the entire time, and I've been fucking anxious.
Okay. In that case, just roll that through, and also
Roll it up. I've been
Yep.
this whole time for what that word was.
And like we can draw up various details and such in later meetings and agreements and drafts and so on and so forth between the various groups. But this is a start. Okay, General offered soldiers to help deal with the rogue zodiacs.
The rogue zodiacs, as well as however they can assist with between 13 and the elemental planes.
Okay.
As that is kind of also part of that same civil war going on.
Mm-hmm. 13 rogue. Okay, I'm taking notes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this at the same time.
That's okay. I encourage notes here. There's a lot going on.
Okay. Heck. Character just vanished.
Yep, sorry about that.
It's okay. All right. What was the last question set?
The last question was the one on civil war matters, of sending soldiers but over, and the particular placements of the embassies, which can be considered background conversation to change the placements if need be.
Yeah, that's potential for like future discussions.
Yeah.
This is just for, hey, we're willing to consider this agreement and like hash out those fine details later.
Mhm.
All right.
There was also a brief conversation of economic trades beginning between the
Yes.
planes.
Yes, definitely would have interest in that.
As a note, anyone who takes a glance at Sammy for that, she's almost like drooling at the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Tauros and Leo all seem quite excited about this. Excuse me.
Yep. All right. And of course, it would have to bring up that the trade would therefore necessitate some at least semi-permanent portals going between set locations, but that's probably conversation for like detail hashing.
Yeah.
The more pressing problem right now is probably the various wars, and frankly, I don't think we heard anything grievance-wise from the rebellion on this side.
Yep. The rebellion primarily wanted to know where they stand first, but they did offer a secondary embassy, basically to you can tell enough that you know the legalese enough to know that they're trying to establish themselves as a separate government within this government.
Yeah.
By offering that embassy.
Okay. That's gonna be a whole thing to hash out.
Mm-hmm. Which, if Rosin lets the issue sit for a minute, the Desert Archer will stand up and say, before we get too far on talks embassies, can we return to where the rebellion and where the Genasi sit in this conversation?
Yes. Now,
Yep, please.
I would ask, Do you know what the Genasi would prefer? If not all of them, then are there those who would wish to see the tribes fully become part of Panacea, no longer considered refugees from war? Or would they prefer a fuller separation?
Details on that are indecisive, and from recent votes within the gathering currently going on, I'm getting, for transparency's sake, and he does seem more put together than you guys have ever seen him. I'm being given sending spells that update me on the current votes on the floor, as they are informing me of their opinions on some of the issues we discuss here. As I am sending them sending spells back to let them know as to what they might be agreeing to. But the general consensus is that Panacea as a landmass, we're happy to be a part of. We have always been nomadic. We want to be able to be nomadic across the country, not just the desert. The sanctions against us are primarily economic and cultural. So with the agreement of everyone here, it has been generally wished that the Genasi may be free to roam this country as a landmass, as well as the elemental planes as a landmass, freely. To be given status equal to wherever they reside, but as guests wherever they go, at the very least. And those who wish to cement themselves in one place or another may choose to do so on their own volition, if that can be agreed upon. You see the Archduids are hesitant at best. They immediately, there's whispered discussions between them. Orzer gives a bit of a stern look. Yeah, I'll wait for it to be typed out real fast.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, the short version is that the Genasi have requested to act as a kind of independent people within both this country and the elemental planes. With those who wish to become permanent residents at their own choice, welcome. And otherwise they act as guests wherever they go. The Archdruids seem hesitant to accept this reference, Esther, as a majority of them are conversing between themselves and not in happy tones.
Alright. I want to just feign to the group real quick while this happens, because I want to basically have Averos step up by example. And I want to be able to put forward the offer that, of course, any Genasi who would like to wander nomadically onto our island and stay for a time and then leave again may do so, but with the caveat that we might not have the most predictable schedule, so we might not be able to like ferry them directly to a place at all times. But is it okay for me to like for Rosalind to with the rest of the group to bring that up?
Yeah,
Sure. Come aboard if you want.
To Conrad, there have been no issues with any of the Genasi who have come up from the gathering as well to Everos, right?
A couple of them didn't really consult with anyone before they're trying to go wandering into the forest, but they very quickly realized they should not go into the forest. So
I more mean legality, not in terms of just like
legality. This land is your guys' law.
No, have
any of them caused problems?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
There's been few enough to stay up and back and forth. Most of them were only here for long enough to get to the gathering.
Yeah.
That's fine though.
Yeah, they've been chilling. Same as the doors for the most part.
In that case,
yeah.
Sounds good.
That's fine.
While they are kind of conferring, Rosalind will stand and just kind of do that little smile, and just bring up that as if talking directly to the Archdruid of the Desert, but in a way that it's like, yeah, everybody hears this.
Yep.
Basically, of course, they are welcome upon Averos whenever they should wish, whether to stay or to only stay a while. Though, we may not be able to promise direct passage from one place to another within a certain amount of time. We do somewhat wander ourselves.
He immediately gives you this like happy, open smile. Like, that's actually why most of them wanted to come up here, just to kind of see where they end up.
Happy to facilitate.
Yes.
The ones that have traveled with us thus far have been wonderful guests. Though they did have to be warned off of the forest, it's a little dangerous out there yet.
Well, it can't be that bad.
You would be quite surprised, but perhaps a discussion for another time.
I might be biased in retrospect.
Quite. There is a world of difference between your average individual walking into those woods and an archdruid.
That's true. And he immediately turns to the man sitting next to him, Tess, and goes, Tess, will you be willing to welcome archdruids? I know you already have a lot of the water and air ones up in the flows. And he nods and shrugs, like, yes, that's one of the big reasons that we have the support of so many people. Much of us up that north don't like how the Genasi are treated. Yeah, please, we encourage it. We honestly, if we have the option, we'd like to facilitate transport up to us and to help them build out a better society for us up there. We aren't built for the elements like you might be. And Esther, you see him kind of catch your smile and give you this like very slight nod.
In addition, as a curiosity, your people enjoy travel, or at least it's the way of life that they choose, that they prefer. How many of them are inclined... Oh, the Genasi, Archdruid.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
Would any of them be particularly inclined towards mercantile work? Trade routes? Transport?
Yeah.
That could be a potential avenue for the trade that was discussed if any of them are individually interested in that. Get to wander and see the world, the plains and all, and bring goods and stories and knowledge with them.
Yeah, that was the primary reason we wanted to do so. We can survive in elements a lot of people can't. Most of us work on a trade-based mercantile system anyways. We don't really have much use for money in the desert. Anyone from Valeri or Calciloria, or Penel even, would recognize us from that, and even the dwarves are very familiar with Earth Genasi, just showing up sometimes, having walked through the ground.
Esther's
we'd be happy to... Yep, he's getting to that in a quick second. He goes, we'd be happy to do the same for the elemental planes if need be. And he kind of notices Esther, and yeah, Esther. For reference, she counts as like secondary representative just to make that official and everything. If I missed something, please trust her to talk about it.
I just wanted to add, for Genasi, it's the traveling away from home is almost a rite of passage. You leave your home, you travel around, and eventually, if so, you might come back, you might not. But to have a structured system that would allow at least some sort of safety, as well as a form of income for young Genasi, traveling for the first time, wanting to experience that rite of passage, I'm in very much support of it.
Yeah. Tess nods again, and yeah, Elvish culture is a very similar thing for many of us. Wanderlust is common to a lot of species, if not mistaken. And he kind of looks at his Leo, raises the hand, and stands up immediately, and like, as representative from a plane that is quite difficult for anyone to live upon, we would be incredibly appreciative of that. Trade between the planes is difficult, to say the least. Not to mention between elemental planes and the material plane. So we would be happy to begin that. Some Genasi already do so who are from planes of existence. But most of that was headed by the recently deceased Zodiac Aquarius. She was the head of the information network, the message network, the transport network. And mostly due to the Genasi she employed. So we would be happy to do this. I'd be willing to facilitate this myself, and when a new Aquarius is elected, I'm sure they'd be willing to take a similar stance, as Taurus and I have discussed the difficulties before many a time. We are open to this, so long as the Archdruids don't plan to pose an opposition here. And at this point, the eyes all turn to the Archdruids. And
Conrad, just for clarification, I've been hoping by opening that up, by guiding the conversation towards the benefits for everybody, towards trade, things like that, that this would sway them. Has it?
go ahead and make for a persuasion check.
Yay!
As usual, with advantage here. Take double advantage because roll another d20, just for the sake of you're basically being given a help action by Leo here.
Yeah. Aha, 2 more. That would be a 29.
Excellent. The Archdruids almost unanimously seem, if not, I don't know what the verb is for complacent, but settled by this, if not mildly ashamed that they were initially going to disagree. And you see the general kind of stand up with one last glare to the Aarakocra Archdruid. Says, as a group, while we have our own prejudices we need to work around, we're not against this. I believe, if I can speak for everyone here, that our primary concern is the change of distribution of power that would occur. The Archdruids are very much used to, as a group, being in charge. But it seems that that may need to change. So we welcome this as our first step towards an apology for the Genasi for what has been done in the past. Unfortunately, we do not have a direct representative from P9 here to vouch, but I know from past conversations during wartime efforts that P9 was consistently trying to get us to work with the Genasi culture more. They are a wonderfully well-traveled and knowledgeable people, so we have no opposition to this, but we would ask that there is lengthy discussions to the complexities, which is not, if not mistaken, not to be taken today.
No. Today is for establishing the willingness to take that journey.
Then, as primary representative for the Archdruids, we will agree to this, with the caveat that an agreement can be reached in the future, before anything is implemented. Ashton. It's not powerful, but you can feel a distant hum of something, some planar energy. Not a portal.
Oh no.
This is a lot more similar to when Rosalind made her wish that affected multiple planes, that affected the teleportation magic. You feel that just a similar hum of something, some sort of magic growing. Almost like background radiation.
Can you pin it at all?
Go ahead and give me a perception or an insight check with advantage.
You'll also let that know to Orzer.
Alright. Orzer can functionally give you help through the thing if you'd like.
Okay.
You've got a second help action, so roll on the d20.
Yeah. Nope.
28.
Could I give him guidance, sorry?
Yeah, you'd be able to. Go for it.
Okay.
29. Alright. You kind of flex your awareness as far as you can. Excuse me. It's something not happening on this plane. It's happening on another plane of existence. You're also familiar enough to know that this feels less like an instantaneous change. As mentioned, magic is growing. It seems almost like some sort of, if you had to guess, some sort of ritual is occurring. You get a hunch, a reasonable hunch, I imagine, that it's related to the astral plane, as it seems to be. There's no elemental feel to it. It's just this deep underlying shift that you can feel growing, like an earthquake about to occur.
Yep, Astra is just going to give a feign to the group. It's just like a, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Do I bring this up to everyone here and ask them if they know anything?
Can you transfer the feelings of what you're feeling, if that makes any sort of sense?
Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Can she try to pinpoint that? If it's definitely astral?
Yeah, I'd say that is a bit more your specialty. You can go ahead and make an Arcana check. Again, with advantage, just being basically assisted by Ash here. 19. You get that same kind of vibe he does, but it's not as precise as him. He is far more attuned to planar magic than you are.
That's fair.
Okay. As to the bring it up to everyone and ask if they know what's up, I'm gonna say probably not, because I imagine there's gonna be panic and accusations if that happens, potentially.
Yeah.
Xenia's gonna look at faces and see if anyone's facial expressions have changed.
Yeah, go for insight.
Okay.
Yep,
Feign
right.
advantage.
Yep, and guidance.
I will give help too. So
You're a beautiful human being.
Go for it.
It's rolling. 32.
32. All right. You do notice a slight bit of awareness in Capricorn. Around the same time that Ashton picked up, she kind of straightened up a little bit and began kind of looking around. You see her almost having to like intentionally hold back casting a spell. One that you would be familiar enough to know is kind of like a haphazard identify
Mm-hmm.
or something along those lines, like a detect magic or something like that. That she is like stopping herself from casting, like cautiously.
Xenia's gonna see if Capricorn just locks eyes with them.
Yep, they will eventually do so as they kind of see your look, and you immediately get a mental connection with them. Seem to be a telepathic connection, and say, "I seem as an elf, a well-traveled elf, one of our hosts. Yes. Do any of your numbers sense something off, something wrong, something shifting?"
Xenia sends the first feign to everyone. Capricorn's trying to communicate, just wondering if anything's shifting. I think they notice it as well.
if they notice, then go ahead.
Sending just like a general affirmative.
Do any of you have a way to tell about this? Any way that I can lend my assistance? I have been instructed not to cast any sort of magic here, as it will be seen as aggressive. I have items that can assist with this tuning forks. I have resources if you so need.
Can I insight that?
I'll say with
help.
I'll say your 32 insight will carry over here.
I want to know if there's any, like, if it's genuine or if, like, she's fucking with us.
Yeah. If you want, you can reroll 32, but if not, I can take 32 again. If you'd like.
I'm keeping that 32. It's technically a natural 20 for me.
It is, isn't it?
Yes. If with the guidance.
Not quite a natural 20, but functional.
Functionally by numbers, a natural 20. If I didn't do guidance.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. They're being honest. Capricorn, while not incapable of deception, doesn't seem to care about social factors. Also, in the brief times she's interacted with anyone, doesn't seem to particularly care which faction you side with. If you're more magical, she just seems to pay more attention to you. Simple as that.
Just feign to the group again of just like, she wants to help. Should we let her? I don't even know how we would help.
Asha's just gonna start walking over and just if you want to give an announcement for what I'm doing, there's just a concern with Capricorn right now. I need to take them aside.
No.
Yep.
Wait. One moment.
I could
I'm
also
going-
attempt to use an item of hers.
I'm going to call a brief recess in the peace talks to discuss better among the groups for a little while, the things that have already come up, see if there's anything else, take a quick break, that sort of thing. So,
Yep.
pretty
As
much
soon as
everybody,
you say you start bringing out food.
yeah, pretty much everybody breaks down, starts mingling anyway, and it's easy to take Capricorn aside. Go for it.
Yep, Asha will do so. Maybe ask Xenia over as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over.
Yep.
If possible, could Esther drift over because she's a literal magical powerhouse and wants to be close to that?
Yeah, probably. You all can.
I don't want the whole party there. Is the only thing. But...
I was gonna say Rosalind's gonna stay distant and keep like circling and mingling among everybody here, but also stay kind of loosely feign connected to that group so that she knows what's going on, and if she can help or offer insight or anything on any of it, she's available. Drawing her like a resource.
We need Asha and Xenia there for the insight and for the direct talks. We can feign to anyone else if we need any help with anything else.
Alright, I'll stay out of it.
Yeah. It's not that I don't want you to stay out of it. It's literally like we don't want to cause a thing in the like everyone saying, "Oh, 3 of them are walking over to this one individual zodiac right now."
Even with that, I think Xenia is going to do small lap just because I have a bit of a faster walking speed and meet you at the other side.
That's her.
Yep. So Capricorn quickly notices this as you make the way, and they make themselves available to you guys with a quick word to Leo that something might be fucky, basically, because words are getting to be difficult for me. And they kind of step away, and when you come to Ashton, says, nice to see you again. Apologies for past interactions.
Gonna ignore that for now. What do you have?
What I don't have is permission to cast spells. I have been instructed not to, as I make some nervous.
Can your identify attune to at least what plane is going on here?
I can. I can also give you assistance, and if you have an arcane user as well, I can give them instruction how to tune themselves to different planes as an eye to watch out.
I can tune to planes already.
I can try. I'm not familiar with your form of magic, Samar.
Take it as an extra resource. We do have a spellcaster. We're familiar with the astral, though.
Good. Do you have a tuning fork of the astral plane?
Seeing takes one out.
Excellent. That would be a wonderful component. Do you understand glyphs, Asmar?
Out of character.
Not super well. They're definitely not your specialty.
Does Xenia understand glyphs?
Slightly better than him. Not much. This is glyphs in the terms of basically how spellcasters write in a spellbook. Sorry, wizards write in a spellbook.
Not our specialty. And then there's a quick
You have a genasi within your ranks who does. Bring them to me. I will teach them.
swap out. And he looks to Xenia and walks off.
Yep, Xenia's just going to Fantastic, just go take a lap, come and join us. And just continue like some slight small talk with Capricorn of like, so, the planes.
She doesn't seem to get the message and is continuing to try to explain what might be the problem.
Seems fine with that.
Like a ping pong ball just bouncing off her forehead, just like, oh, well, no, never mind.
She says, this is Astral. This is happening faster for them than it is for us. I'm not sure of your familiarity.
The familiarity is a bit vague. I have not been there. I've had attunements to astral projection, but have not attempted it yet. I haven't even stepped foot in the plane. I do know there is... We know slightly what could be going on in the astral, but this seems a bit iffy on our side as well. Do you know if anyone else in your colleagues or anyone else you noticed is giving similar reaction to feeling a shift in the planes?
Lieber would be most attuned, but he is indisposed. Genasi, come here.
Hello.
You are familiar with glyphs, arcane symbols, yes? You're a wizard?
Yes.
Good. You are familiar with divination spells, yes, right?
I dabble in them, yes.
Good. Yeah, she pulls out her spell book and just hands it to you, and opens it up to a page of notes, not an actual spell. And says, here, these are dissected and reconstituted divination spells to sense the energy of the planes, to feel shifts. It does not require a spell necessarily, but spell power does make it more powerful.
These are marvelous. Are these yours?
I've had time. I've always been a watcher between the planes of a sort. Mostly for my own gain, but I am trying to be more generous with my gifts.
She kind of looks up at Capricorn, just eyes wide and full of wonder, and just... I would be honored to learn anything you could teach me.
Good. I do not have the time for a seminar, unfortunately, nor the will for it, but are you familiar with the connection between space and time?
I've gotten very familiar with it, yes.
Good. Anyone who specializes in either of those two magics will assist in this. Your monarch is a wonderful source of this, or perhaps the Firebirds, I believe it was called. They seem to be well attuned to the enchantments of space and time.
Can I slightly insight the stuff with the monarch, just because that is a concerning thing, and I just want to check for ulterior motives?
Yeah, go for it. Make a new insight check.
31.
31. You aren't aware how she knows this. She seems to say this as if it's a known fact, though. Like it's just something that's apparent.
You just 2 fingers up. How? I'd like to inquire where you got the information about the monarch.
Is this not known? How old are you, child? How old are yours? How old is your soul? What do you remember of your past lives?
That is not the answer to my question at the moment. I'll divulge information. I require an answer, though.
Fine. I am familiar with the species, the boon gifted upon your monarch. It is not the first of its kind, but it is the only one of this era that I recognize. I am old, child. Very old.
There have been monarchs before with similar ability.
Not monarchs as a avian creature, but a creature entrusted with knowledge of past, bound to a pedestal, born of multiplanar energy. This is familiar to those who know the science.
Indeed. Quick feign to everyone about that she knows about it and just say, your assumptions are correct. Thank you. And just quiet down again.
I do appreciate your paranoia. I'm aware that I am unsettling.
You're lucky I'm not the most paranoid, but appreciate it.
I don't
Paranoia
find
is
you
not a bad thing.
unsettling.
You are too trusting, but I
No,
appreciate it nonetheless.
I just
Never mind social graces. You'll have to forgive me for interrupting you, child, but something is wrong. You have permission to cast spells. You have access to magic that I am forbidden at this moment. Go use it. Do not waste time. This time is what we have the deficit of here.
may I take your book with me then to cast this?
Please, it is no difference whether or not I have it right now. Do not open the other pages. It will burn you.
I will. I thank you for allowing me your trust in this. And she will hurry towards the monarch to basically use the monarch as a focus.
Feign to everyone who has feign that Esther's about to cast a spell. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will ask Esther, do you want to cast it as a spell slot spell, or do you just want to try to attune to the magic, more akin to what Ash does? As mentioned, it will be more powerful the more magic you put into it, but it is not mandatory.
You know what? We'll give it a spell slot spell just for the sake of it.
All right. What spell slots are you expending on this?
Is it okay if I do, like, can I do any kind of spell slots?
Yeah, any kind of spell slots, any number of spell slots you would like to. You're basically doing a grand spell level that you're putting into this.
Okay. In that case, I don't really have any of those prepared.
Yeah,
For
no,
right now.
no spells prepared, just pure spell slots. You're basically putting arcane energy into this.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of what I should do. Could I do like 2 first levels?
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Basically, each time you do this, it takes about a minute and a half to try each time.
Okay.
I will say, as with any other check, the more often you repeat a check, if you keep trying to do the same thing over and over after you fail, the DC does get higher.
Okay.
That being said, doesn't mean you can't repeat it. Doesn't mean you can't add more spell slots later. It just means each time you repeat it, this is a higher DC.
Okay. What would the DC be if I didn't use any spell slots? Would I be able to know that or no?
You would not know that, no.
Okay.
And as a note, this would be basically an intelligence check.
I know. I'm just trying to think of what I should do. Okay. Fuck me, man. All right. Well, yeah, we'll do the 2 first levels and then see how well that goes.
Okay, mark them off and take advantage as you're basically using the Monarch as your attunement.
Can I use Feign for advantage as well?
Yeah, go for it.
So would that be double advantage?
Yep.
Okay. Ah, that's not good.
It's an 8.
You can feel there is power there. The spell slots seem to be effective. You do get the sense that this is coming from the Astral Plane as well.
Okay. She'll relay that information over and instead of using a spell slot, Could I take the magic out of one of my magic items and feed it into that instead, allowing that magic item to become nullified for the rest of the day?
Which magic item would you be doing here?
So I'm trying to think of what would be willing, that's the problem. Could do the Crown of Venom if that's possible.
Yeah, are you just using up the charges? Or just trying to make it inert for the day?
Basically, just to take the magic out of it so much that the Crown of Venom is no longer able to be used for the rest of the day.
Okay. So that will functionally be like adding a 5th level spell slot to this.
Okay, so we'll do that. And then on top of that, I will add an additional 5th level spell slot.
Alright, so go ahead and make another, if you want to use the Fane Point, double advantage intelligence check.
Yes. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Wow, really? Holy fuck.
You do feel a stronger connection there. You're able to sense at least the type of magic, the school of magic, of what is happening. This is some sort of enchantment magic. Maybe mixed with transmutation.
Fuck me, that's not good. Okay. Fuck. Again, relaying that if anybody has any inputs, I would gladly take them right now.
Orzor kind of eventually makes his way over to you and what's going on? What do you need to make this work better?
More magic power. I don't want to give up too many spells, otherwise, if something should happen, I wouldn't be able to defend.
Your, I don't know, boyfriend, fiance, does he have access to magic enough that he can lend you?
Fuck, you're right. Can you bring him over here, please?
Sure. He makes his way over and directs him. He quickly makes his way over to you. And Orzor goes back to whatever he was doing. You do notice now that a couple of the Archdruids do seem to be paying attention to what you're doing at this point.
I need your help with something.
Yes, what? What do you need? What's going on?
Something's not right, and I'm trying to get as much information as possible. Capricorn's given me her spell book. Don't flick any pages. I know you're interested, but don't flick any pages. It will
Bigger
hurt you.
priorities. What do you need from me?
Yes. I need as much magic as you're willing to pour into this divination.
Done. Give me your hand.
And she'll give her hand.
Yep, he holds it, and you feel a lot of magic flow into you. It's basically 15 levels worth of spell slots he hands you.
And she will conduct that into the spell.
Okay, go ahead and make another check using the Fane Point if you would like, and go ahead.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Really? God damn!
Alright. So with a total roll of 36, you capture onto whatever the spell being cast is. And you immediately, your Fane, take note of this. Through them and their knowledge, and as well as the history that is naturally a part of the magic that Garil carries. You sense that this is essentially a upcasting of the wish spell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought so.
You don't know how long it is to complete. It is a ritual that is done differently and has only ever been done twice before.
Oh, fuck.
Anyone got counterspell?
She just pales.
I have
and...
dispel magic if it's a ritual.
If the spell magic is conducted through me like a lightning rod, would I be able to latch onto the signature that I found and try to counteract this ritual?
It would be incredibly difficult, but it is theoretically possible.
Does
And that-
Esther bring it to our knowledge that something like this was happening?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no, this is
Okay.
being feigned constantly.
Very much a look to Capricorn. What is that?
What is what?
Esther has gone pale.
Xenia is just like hand on the back of Capricorn, pushing towards and just whatever's going on. What is going on?
I don't know. I do not have my magics. I am not the one finding information, child. You need to tell me what you have found.
Esther is going to hurry to Capricorn and just basically explain. Somebody's trying to upcast a wish spell.
That is deity level magic. That is requires hundreds of followers, hundreds of spellcasters to assist you.
Oh no! Did
Where-
you send
where is it?
Leonie?
Question: Where is there like a visible area where the wish spell is? Is it around Esther?
As mentioned, this is happening on the astral plane.
Okay. I'm brain is in like 3 different places.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any way to counteract this? And she kind of hands Capricorn back her book, just to mention that.
Rituals are a dangerous thing to try to do. That is, any interruption to any small piece of ritual stops it. At the best, it has to restart. At worst, it rebounds.
Any interruption?
It does.
Any interruption? Okay. I've got 2 paths here that might be able to work.
Where is this
Xenia,
happening, child?
where is it happening? Did I pick that up?
The astral plane.
The astral plane.
That is not good.
No, it's 13's domain. That
That
and
is 13. There is no civilization as large as 13's on the astral plane. There is no one with that many spellcasters.
No, she doesn't have counterspell.
So, what is your plan? What do you wish to do?
Okay, I have an idea and it might work. Xenia, I need you to go to the others, tell them what's happening. I'm going to go find a quiet place. I need to see if I can get in contact with someone. If I can't, then I can't, and we'll have to go through a different option. And she kind of feigns to Xenia, if I can get hold of either the Lord of the Mind or Mistra, we might be able to influence this.
Xenia is just going to feign to everyone, just to like slowly make their way around.
And Esther is going to excuse herself, just, I need to use the restroom. Please give me a minute. And she'll basically walk as calmly as possible out of the room into a quiet place to try to reach out to either the Lord of the Mind or Mistra and just, hey!
Xenia is going to Capricorn back, get the tuning fork back, make sure that it's the same tuning fork for the astral plane.
Yep, it is.
Okay. Devin's point.
Yeah, you guys have spell scrolls. You guys have
Uh-huh.
access to those spells at least.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an easy one to get back.
Yeah, and Esther has multiple copies of Counterspell too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a low-level spell. We had multiples of each low-level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
As you turn
that-
to leave, Xenia, Capricorn kind of gently puts a finger on your shoulders to stop you, and this is unsettling, yes, but low-level magic at this degree can only delay. Without great action, this will not be permanently stopped. If you will allow me the privacy to assist you, I may be able to find out the components of the wish, but I would need permission from my fellow Zodiacs as well as the understanding of everyone here that I am doing something to help, that I am to be trusted, and I cannot get that myself.
A little more insight.
Go for it.
Asha is giving advantage if you can.
You're beautiful. 28.
28, alright. Yeah, like anything else so far, she seems genuine. She is not as concerned as you might expect someone of this caliber. Yeah, she doesn't seem as concerned as you would initially expect. She just seems surprised.
Is it
But
because
not
she's
outright
old?
scared. That's a bit harder to say through just an insight check.
Okay.
He's going to just feign, just like, I'll go deal with her in the Zodiacs. I will meet you guys there. I will sprint. But this is definitely an option.
Okay.
I'll
So
see you guys there.
if this is something that is going to have to be known and understood among the entire gathering in order to be pulled off, then Rosalind is going to start basically quietly spreading that word more on one-on-ones. I don't mean to alarm you or anyone, but we've just gotten wind that something is happening. We're going to deal with it. We needed to borrow Capricorn's expertise, if that's all right with the Zodiacs, and with the reassurances for the others. So, Rosalind's gonna basically fire control out here.
You can feign it to probably Orzer and Ronir too, and they can assist with that as well.
Oh yeah, they're getting the first heads up and help.
Ashton, you immediately get the response of, well, Glimmer of Abjuration right here. We have a Zodiac of immense power, and whatever the fuck Esther is. I think we can get something to work here, at least a delaying tactic.
All right,
I
in
can
that
line
case,
us up a
then.
bit more to the astral if we need. I've been
Excellent.
there.
Get over there as quickly as you can. Um, do you think we have enough time to ritualize this, make this more stronger, or do we need to do this instantly?
I say instantly. They've got a lot more time than we do.
Understandable. I know. Do you think if the monarch pauses time for us, it'd be better? It would attune us to that plane naturally. I don't know if that would make us more vulnerable, though. Do you think it's worth it?
No.
It's not.
Okay. Instant it is, and whatever time we get there, we can make something work. So I will say, if you're trying to get with the monarch to assist with this, she is in the courtyard. She does not leave the courtyard. You will be doing this in sight of everyone else.
No, I'm gonna have to anyways. It's fine. If Rosalind's basically passing the word and being like, "Hey, something's happening," my actions are kind of self-explanatory in that case.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I was
gonna.
going to say, just past charisma checks are enough that you have the trust of the people here.
Yep, I'm just
Oh.
gonna have them move off
Yeah.
to the side to give them a little bit of room, give the magic some
Yep.
space.
Immediately, Tess walks up like, "Can I lend a hand with this? I know you don't trust me. You aren't familiar with me, but do you need help here?"
Yes, Kier, please.
Whatever helps, right?
All right.
He's a
Orzer,
magic powerhouse. I'm using him.
I'll follow your lead. And he kind of nods, and you all settle down in front of the monarch. And the monarch just says, "What is my role here, Esther?"
I need to use you as a conduit.
The conduit I will be to, I assume, our friends on the Astral Plane.
Friends on the Astral Plane and just the weave in general. You are a magical powerhouse, same as Tess. Ashta, you tune to planes like nothing I've ever seen. If possible, could all three of you make some sort of physical contact with me?
Orzer kind of puts a hand up, and I can do even better. And he with the speed you didn't think possible of him, creates a complex magic circle on the ground of chalk. It takes maybe 12 seconds total. And he says, "Each of you take a point. Stand on it, and in the center, make sure you are focusing your magic energy at that central point." This is essentially amplification for disruptive magic, with allowance for our more planar friends here, as the one not firing the shot, but aiming the arrow. Is that amenable to each?
Yes.
Astral, look, you got any more chalks and inks?
He opens up a bag full of them, whatever you need.
All right. Ash is going to, if he can, work on top of Orzer's circle.
Yep.
He has this now.
Excellent. All right. Are you trying to use a hybridized version of the spell, or just trying to use the kind of vibe?
Let's say hybridized, basically as a way to. Again, he's trying to be the aim towards the closest point towards this ritual on the astral as he can.
Esther can help. She has this spell too.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say it's kind of flavoring it like you're trying to basically teleport the spell there?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. First, give me an insight check. Automatic advantage from the Fane.
Basically,
No need to spend a Fane point on it.
basically
All right.
like putting a sight on a rifle.
Exactly.
Okay. Can I assume Xenia is guiding along the way?
I smack at the butt.
Yep. If you're not, Gorilla's helping up too. So both, basically, Esther and Ashton can assume you have guidance for all of this.
All right.
Awesome.
So let's do advantage insight.
DC was 20 for that. You're good.
Okay.
So you do expend the spell slot as part of this, because basically the spell slot will be successful in whatever you're doing.
Cool.
You also gain the awareness that this isn't being transferred alone to the astral plane. This is somehow connected to those hands that combined you and Bo. There is
Okay.
something as part of this ritual that is connected to them.
So Bo's got his fat little fingers in it. Awesome.
Not necessarily Bo. Bo was brought there against his will too.
Yeah, that was a potentially a
It's
fragment
true.
of a dying god or something.
At the moment, Ash is just gonna give a, if he can, if there's a moment to breathe, just a feint over to Jay asking if he's okay.
You just get a whine of pain from him.
Oh no.
He'll just give a hold on best you can.
You do know that from the way Fane work, he is still on this plane of existence. He has not left it. And he eventually manages to get the words to you that it feels like they're draining him of blood, whatever is happening.
Okay.
Do you relay that?
Yeah, no, he's given that to everyone.
In that sense, she's going to turn to Capricorn. What is Oni blood used as a spell component for?
What?
Primarily in healing magic. It is regenerative ability. It is illusion. Nothing of this. I warn you, we do not. I sense the magic growing stronger. We must act now to figure out what is happening and then act against it to at least delay it, if not weaken it. So whatever you're about to do, you need to do it quickly.
Okay. Out of character. General consensus. I've got all this magic at me right now. What do you want me to do?
Counterspell the ritual.
Is that the conclusion here?
That's what I've been pushing for the whole time.
It's,
If anyone else got anything else.
I'm asking everyone.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first step of what's going to happen then is going to be the rebellion leader, Capricorn, and the monarch trying to divine the nature of this to make the counterspell easier. The other three, with Orzer sourcing the base counterspell, and you guys basically just amplifying it, Esther with power, Ashta with accuracy, as has already been successful from Ashta from the teleportation use. They're going to first try to figure out as much as they can about this. And then you guys are going to try to do whatever you can to stop it. Any complaints?
No, I think that's okay.
Right. So, as the eyes light up with the first three, immediately they get insight, and for a moment it feels almost like you're all commingling, but you know it's a telepathic connection instead. This is a ritual, and the wish is coming from Ophiuchus.
Of course it is.
It is trying to collapse all the planes into the astral plane. Both of them.
Okay.
Oh no.
In doing this, it would basically apply the astral plane rules to the rest of the planes, and over time, it would weaken the differences between those planes. It would basically be a way to emulsify the planes into one same existence between them all. No individuality. This is being powered from basically the slow siphoning of energy from whatever deity combined Ashta and Bo and made Jay.
Shit, okay.
So, Ashta, you've already put in a 5th level spell slot as well as a successful check. Is there anything else you'd like to add to your accuracy amplification?
He's basically teleporting the magic, right?
That's the way you've been flavoring it so far. You can adjust it if you need to.
It might be more of a flavor thing. But I'm wondering if Rosalind could help, which also, as you're saying, Ariel, Gloves of the Goth.
Mm-hmm.
But also just with enchanting.
Can I point out something that I don't have an item anymore, but I do have the blueprints and therefore the knowledge of the astral shard.
Yeah, that is true. So if you'd like to bring Rosalind very quickly into this ritual.
Yep.
Rosalind, can you make me a bolt to shoot a god with?
In the next 2 seconds, I'll see what I can do.
All right. So in that case, I'll ask Rosalind, what are you doing to assist with this?
Huh.
You do have a lot of knowledge, and Fane make
Yes.
knowledge a powerful and almost physicalized thing if you need to.
Right.
Yep.
Curiosity. Ashta's the focus, right? Esther is
He's
the
the
power.
kind of, yeah, so far.
Okay. Rosalind, if you give those schematics, basically you could shape that magic into something with a bit more intensity.
Yep. Okay. So, what I want to do in that case, goodness, I don't know if this is gonna work. I've got the gloves of the goth. I have the wand that pulls planar magic, portal magic into itself. The gloves eat magic. The wand eats that particular kind of magic that has to do with planes. I have the knowledge blueprints, whatever, for the astral shard, which is typically for sorcerers, which I am
Interesting.
a lean towards, like,
Yes,
because of
yes.
bloodline and so on and so forth. I don't necessarily have the bloodline connection to the astral, but I do have one to another plane that I could potentially bounce off of if really necessary.
You also have Ashta.
Get a bit of a Fey boost, and I also have Ashta, direct soul connection there.
Yeah.
So.
I'd say, within reason, you could make that an enchantment check.
Yep. So with all of that combined, I want to basically modify, enhance whatever I can do with this this attack, this magical force, this counterspell, so that it doesn't just negate this magic, but potentially captures it.
All right. Your Fane will also perk up as well at this idea and say, "Oh, this is you're trying to imagineer an effect here. We can help with this." As they like kind of condense your knowledge into something workable, something malleable. So go ahead and make me an enchantment check.
Oh, fun fact, I also have Demiplane, and on a greater level, my new 9th level spell is creating a planar rift that can attack things.
If you'd like to expend those uses, if you want to expend those uses, you could.
I'm also gonna throw up. Asha's just gonna like have a disaster bolt on hand.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm not sure I really want to expend it. It's just more like I have this knowledge behind me as well. Demiplane, Dimension Door, all this stuff.
Asha will give you a disaster bolt as a like thing to expend.
Okay. Okay. I'll expend a disaster bolt. I don't want to expend spell slots, but I just want to see if I can like if that knowledge, that magical awareness, arcana, enhances it in any way. All right, what am I rolling?
Also, so this would be just an enchantment check still. I'd say with the you'd have a single advantage, but no one else could offer help here. And Esther, sorry, not Esther, Xena, you'd have the option whether you'd want to guide Rosalind's check or whatever check that Esther is going to make. As one of the guidances has already been used in Ashta.
Do we know what kind of check Esther is going to be making?
That is up to Esther.
If she's counterspelling, that's just base intelligence.
Yeah.
I think Esther would need it more.
I think Esther needs it more.
Oh, I already, yeah.
All right, I'm good with that. Okay, single advantage enchanting check.
Go for it.
36.
Yo! Holy fuck!
Oh, almost a nat 20. Almost.
Yep. I'll say that is most certainly a success in what is functionally a skill challenge here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say with 36, that doesn't count as a double success.
Oh, fuck.
So actually, that's 1 success, 2 from Rosalind. All right. Now, Esther.
Oh,
The
Lord.
source of the energy is Orzer. You are the amplification. You are the gunpowder behind the manufacturer making a bullet. What are you doing here? If you're just going to expend raw magical energy, the basic way to do that is to expend spell slots, but you're free to be as creative as you want here.
That's what I'm trying to think of. Currently, right now...
Could you siphon off a bit of the energy from the from your artifacts?
That's what I'm looking for. Hello. Can I siphon off of the Helm of Invisibility? Because it's an asshole and it's done nothing so far. So it's gonna do something.
Yeah, I'd say be able to get energy from that.
Cool. Draw that. Okay. All right. This. So we know that there's another ability that I would like to do, but magic is energy, right?
Um, it's energy made realized into something, depending on the school magic. Arcane magic, the weave is energy. Um, spellcasting is turning that energy into something useful.
Okay. You know those explosive crystals, right? The coral?
Yep.
The potential energy stored within those coral pieces, would Esther be able to absorb that energy and utilize it as magic potential?
Yeah, that's pretty much the function of evocation magic.
I have 100 pounds of this coral.
Yeah, do you want to try to drain the energy from it?
I'm gonna fucking try. I'm gonna
Alright.
try to drain as much energy from all of that coral as I physically can and hold on to it until the spell is ready to go.
We are going to make an explosive black hole of a counterspell if this all works. Good luck.
I hope so. I was scouring my inventory. I have another thing that I would like to do after this. That's the thing.
Conrad,
Yep.
can I use that
Yeah, do you want?
inspiration?
Yeah. If you do you want to do this as a side note or as to assist Esther directly?
I want to just assist this in general.
Okay, go ahead and roll the second divine intervention. Then.
Fuck, that's higher than the first one.
That's okay. It is not a complete success or failure for that. I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
Esther, go ahead and roll for me just a. I'll say this will count as Arcana.
Okay.
And take the. I will say you only really get one shot here. You're not gonna be able to do two separate things. So, if this is what you want to do, go ahead and do this and add your guidance.
Okay. In that case, then there was something else that I wanted to discuss really quick.
Okay. What's the other option you want to do?
The rite of potential, right?
Yeah.
The ability that I was given. Okay.
Yep.
The circle that we are currently standing in, does that count as an item?
No.
Says as an action, designate an item within 60 feet. I was wondering if the circle itself could be imbued with that.
Yeah, not precisely,
Okay,
unfortunately.
that's fine. That's fine. That was all I cared about. Alongside absorbing the potential energy from this coral, would I be able to pour spell slots into this as well?
Yeah, that'll basically be a pure amplification of what you're doing.
Okay. Because I would give basically all of my first, my second, and 2 of my third levels.
Alright, so what does that total out to in terms of just pure number of levels?
So that would be 2 first levels, 3 second levels, 2 third levels. I don't know how that correlates to numbers. I'm sorry.
That's 14 levels of magic. Okay.
Okay. Well, in that case.
Yeah, alright, so
Fuck, all right.
yeah, with that, go ahead and make your intelligence check with guidance.
Can I use Feign for advantage here?
You can, yes.
Oh, God, guys. So is it Arcana?
It is. Sorry, Arcana, you're right, yes.
Oh, I'm so fucking scared. Okay. Can I roll the d4 first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
Sure.
that's fine. I'm so scared. I really
You can
hope
roll,
this
you can roll
works.
2 separate d20s if you want to make it easier for you.
No. Okay. I'm gonna close my eyes.
Alright,
It's
so
28, it's 28, it's 28, it's a big number.
Okay.
with all of the extra
my eyes
magic you poured
closed.
into that, that is a functional roll of a 50. As you put a metric shit ton of magic into that, Jesus Christ. So that'll count as a triple success. And that makes the 7 successes you needed to perform this feat. Additionally, Xenia, your divine intervention will get to have one effect on this further.
This
I'm
music
just
isn't
trying to
fitting.
amplify it a little more.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
as the counter spell goes off, you will have the option. Xenia, do you want to either A, eliminate this spell in its totality, or do you want to eliminate the energy source, the data that they're siphoning magic from, in its totality?
I don't know the difference.
One stops this spell but leaves the battery where the energy was coming from. The other destroys the battery, but there still might be some minor effects from the spell.
What's the
As they still
battery?
do. The battery is the DD that shoved Asha and Bo into the same creature.
And may or may not be affecting Jay right now.
So a
I-
very
So basically, you completely negate the effect of the Swish spell, so that it has no effect. Or you make it so that they can't draw from this energy source again. And it might still have some minor effects comparatively to what the spell was.
I
You can discuss in the party, to be clear. Just,
Okay.
it's up to Xenia's final choice.
I want input.
it's like if we get rid of the battery, they can never try this again. But also
But something's gonna happen.
something's gonna happen.
Also,
That's the problem.
there's nothing saying they can't try this again. It's they can't use it with that power source again.
Yeah.
I'd go for the spell.
I
Go for the spell.
Can I flavor it in a certain way of going for the spell?
Of course.
You know how when we close portals we get a bead?
Go for it.
Should we try and get a little bead?
You can.
I will
Okay.
say, in support of that, Rosalind was outright using the power of that wand and the absorbing gloves. So
True.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an excellent use of that.
I'm gonna try and get the bead with it.
Okay. So, with a frankly monumental level of magic, you make the counterspell. Now, the final roll that has to be performed is everyone involved has to make a spellcasting check.
God.
This will basically determine if there are any repercussions just from the side effect of this many people. Basically, what happens to the people who are casting the spell. So, let's start with Ashta, as you were the first to define what you were doing here.
18.
All right. Rosalind, you came after.
13.
Esther, you followed that.
Jesus Christ. Oh fuck, sorry.
Same number.
Same number.
Same number.
Oh fuck, okay.
And Xenia, go ahead.
Can I use the feint or no?
Not in this case.
22.
Holy
All right.
shit.
Uh-oh.
Orzer is going to make his. That is a 23. That is from the
Tess.
Rebellion Leader. That is a 16. Capricorn made a 10.
Oh no.
I got diamonds, just in case.
So, to be clear, this isn't how you guys get affected. This is people who were casting the Wish spell, how they get affected.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, I might have been unclear with that earlier. I apologize.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
was a
this
little
was the amount
worried.
of shit we were gonna
Explicitly
get.
unclear.
When I was casting the spell, I did mean the people who were casting the Wish spell, not the counter spell.
Thank you.
Oh my god, no,
I
no,
thought it
I
was
thought you
us.
meant
Sorry,
us.
No, sorry about that.
I was like,
So-
bro, we've gone through so much. We're about to get our shit rocked again. Like,
So, Ashta, you feel a shift of some source of energy from kind of familiar with what those coral crystals did below the ocean. From potential energy, but instead of to explosive, destructive magic, it sort of resonates with some sort of planar entity. It resonates somewhere. The magic doesn't disappear, it dissipates into something else. You have enough knowledge, and with the amount of spell being done here, you will basically have the insight to know that this energy that was expended went back into the source, along with whatever energy was expended from the spellcasters. So the original power source is stronger than before. But otherwise, there are no harmful effects to the planar existence. I think that's where we're going to end session for today.
bruh, what? No, you gotta go to the rest of them.
Fuck.
It is quite late,
Oh, you're right, but
but
like,
you guys succeeded in stopping a very big problem that was about to happen.
So we stopped it?
We
You
did.
succeeded. Actually, there was basically tiered levels of success. If you guys had 3 successes, there would have been a major downside. If there was 5, there would have been a minor. If there was 7, which you guys got, there would have been a flavor downside. Not a functional downside, but just a flavor one. But with Xenia's Final Wish, there was no side effects that affected any plane outside of the astral.
Holy
oh,
fuck.
fuck.
Effectively, the magic never left the city it was being cast in.
Oh my god.
Okay. And be calm now.
Oh,
Take the win.
Okay.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
All right.
No.
Until next time.
Till
Until
next
next
time.
Next
time.
time.
Bye.
Take it.